What's up, Fantasy Champions? Spotlight Sports Network is excited to tell you about an amazing deal from Thrive Fantasy, your place for daily fantasy sports and esports. Right now, with promo code SS Network, Thrive Fantasy will match up to $50 of your first deposit. So go to thrivefantasy.com and sign up now with promo code SS Network. That's thrivefantasy.com, promo code SS Network.
And what's the motherfucking deal, YouTube? This your boy Coach Dante in the building with you guys. Make sure y'all please comment, like, and subscribe on this live stream. Shout out to the Spotlight Sports Network, Spotlight Sports Network. Shout out to everybody. Supposed to have a special guest coming on today. So again, we're gonna talk about a few things until he does come on the show. He does get ready to come on. He does come on the show. We will see. But again, right now, shout out to everybody that support the channel and stuff like that. I really appreciate you guys. I don't know what episode this is of the Coach's Corner, but we're gonna trickle right along through. And don't y'all guys know Baker Mayfield was traded from the Cleveland Browns to the Carolina Panthers. Yesterday, I believe he was traded from the Cleveland Browns to the Carolina Panthers. And like I said, man, we Carolina Panthers was pretty was gonna be pretty solid. I got you, East Coast. Hold on. Carolina Panthers. I thought they got a capable quarterback who can do something, who can do some things. Baker Mayfield has done it. With the Cleveland Browns. So again, he shows capability of making the right plays. He's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. He's a better quarterback right now than PJ Walker, even though I think PJ Walker should actually get an opportunity to be a quarterback in this league. But other than that, Matt Corral, they don't want to throw him in the fire a little bit. They may not want to throw him in the fire right now. But right now, Baker Mayfield comes in as a starter for the Carolina Panthers. Again, Carolina Panthers made a very good move. So I applaud them for it. And we talked about that with my boy East Coast Gridiron, man, who's right there, who's in the chat, a Jaguar fan. So again, we talked about the discussion yesterday. And will it help Carolina be a playoff team? No, it wouldn't help Carolina be a playoff team, but I think they will be more competitive to what people think and what people are asking for. I think they'll be competitive. I think that will be competitive. So again, we'll find out. We'll find out and see. So boy East Coast wants to come on, so I will send my boy East Coast the link so he can come on and talk some football with us on the Coach's Corner. Shout out to East Coast. If y'all don't know him, all y'all gotta do is type ECG in the chat and this link will come up. Man, go subscribe to that brother right there, man. We on a road, man. East Coast Gridiron is on a roll right now. So again, man, we turning things up another level on the East Coast Gridiron podcast over there. I'm on the third party over there on the East Coast podcast as well. So again, shout out to East Coast, for having me coming through, having me coming on and coming through. So again, I'm just gonna continue to work over here. But again, shout out to the 5 people that's in the stream today, right now. But what y'all thoughts on Baker Mayfield? Getting traded to the Carolina Panthers. Do you guys see Carolina making a playoff push or just being competitive? I see them being competitive. They got a very solid defense. What's up, Phil? What's up, Robert? They got a very competitive defense. They were 21st in the National Football League, but most of those, they were 21st in the National Football League because of Sam Darnold put in the quarterback situation, put them in some tough situations. So again, I think Carolina's going to be competitive. Really, Sam Darnold went down to earth against the Dallas Cowboys. Then the Giants game was the icing on the cake for that reason. But let's just call it what it is. Sam Darnold's just not a good quarterback. He's a backup in this league now. And I think Baker Mayfield gives them opportunity to be competitive. And he gives them a best opportunity to win. My boy, Cowboys Corner in the building, man. Shout out to that brother, Cowboys Corner. He said, you excited to see Carolina? I'm excited to see. And they play on week 1 this week. So my boy, Cowboys Corner, shout out to that brother. If y'all don't sub up to Cowboys Corner, man, I don't know what y'all watching, man. Sub up to Cowboys Corner. If y'all don't know who he is, he used to basically be on Cowboys Family. If y'all actually watched the Cowboys Family, my Cowboys Family, he's a great Cowboys content creator. He was one of my favorite guys on that Cowboys panel, on that Cowboys Family panel. They're big time YouTubers, but Cowboys Corner, which was Cowboys football news on there. That's how I know what was his former name, because he was Cowboys football news. And like I say, he was my favorite guy. He was one of my favorite guys. Him and Cowboys 1980, Space Cowboy and all of those. But that guy was one of my favorite guys, man. He one of the guys that held that Prescott accountable when people were trying to make excuses for him. But I got a special guest in backstage. Y'all don't sub up to this brother right here. This brother has been a great brother to me ever since we started chopping up about the sports. I'm also the third party on his podcast. And y'all know who he is. He always in the chat. He's the coach of the San Diego State Aztecs. We talking about my main guy. Man, how you doing today, brother?
As you say, I'm driving. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. I got you, man. I got you.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, man. I just got off of work not too long ago. Got my cat and the dog in the back because I just picked them up from the vet. It's been a pretty busy day for me. So, It's been the first time I've been in the house in a while, bro.
Yep. Shout out to you, man, for coming out work, joining, man. But like I said, we did discuss the topic of Baker Mayfield, going to the Carolina Panthers yesterday. Like I said yesterday, I think we give them a chance, an opportunity to win. I don't think they're trying to throw Matt Correa in a fire at this point right now. But I think Baker Mayfield give them a chance to win. Probably right now, give them a chance to be competitive. What you think about it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think, like I said yesterday, when you look at both of our lists, it was, he either fell between somewhere like 28 or 32 in our top 40, which, I mean, if you equate the numbers to, how many quarterbacks are in the NFL, how many starting quarterbacks are there's 32. So you can automatically assume that from our list alone that we still believe that he's a starter, and I think rightfully so. I mean, you could throw guys like Teddy Bridgewater in there. You could throw Andy Dalton. Maybe on his best day, but I still have a lot to play, and I think it's I honestly don't think Baker Mayfield got a fair shake. I mean, the dude has had ass coaches for a long time as well, outside of Kevin Stefanski.
Yep.
What's his name to Freddie Kitchens. Then you get Kevin Stefanski. You finally get to a playoff game, and then the next game they shit the bed or whatever. But I still think he's a serviceable quarterback, man. I think he still has the intangibles. He's a crybaby sometime, but it is what it is. I don't like the situation that they put him in with the Browns either.
Yeah.
You pretty much just signed. I just don't like the fact that people sign their new quarterback knowing damn well Deshaun Watson, even without the allegations that Baker Mayfield didn't have a chance in hell to start for that team ever again. Neither did Jacoby Brissett. So, and then you signed Jacoby Brissett, who I think personally never got a fair shake either. So you kind of, you look at the depth of their quarterback too. I know we talk about the Panthers, but they're pretty deep. And somebody had to be a casualty of war, and it was unfortunately Baker Mayfield. But it makes sense. I mean, if you look at all the quarterbacks in Carolina, Baker Mayfield is probably the most prone quarterback ready to win right now that you can plug in.
Yep.
I mean, Cam Newton is Cam Newton now. P.J. Walker, I know you said that, there's still some, there's still some things to do there with him that could possibly make him a starter on another team. I don't necessarily agree with you there, but, I haven't watched as much P.J. Walker tape as probably most people since he was at Temple. And then you have Sam Darnold as never should be a starter ever again.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
And Matt Corral's okay to take a back seat, and I'm totally okay with that because of the fact that he's a rookie. So, learning from all these different quarterbacks and their different points of life and, just being a veteran presence, he's going to have a lot of veteran guys around him that have taken all kinds of different paths. So, out of every quarterback there, he knows what it's like he'll know what it's like to have success, and more importantly, he'll know what it's like to fail from all these guys and learn from their mistakes, hopefully. So, I don't know. I think it was a good move. I don't hate it as much as some people do, but I could see them making the playoffs. I mean, they had the number 2 defense last year, and they were pretty hurt. So, that's just my opinion on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Shout out to my Faye in the building. She's in the building. Jeff is in the building. My sweetheart in the building. But like what I was saying about PJ Walker, I know it's not. We haven't seen him too much. We haven't seen him really get an opportunity. Just like we haven't seen Tyler Huntley have an opportunity at all. I think we both think he can do some good things if he does have an opportunity. I think PJ Walker has some flash for what I've seen in the Cardinals game when they went in straight to Arizona and blew him out. I've seen some pretty solid things I've seen from him with Carolina when they blew out the Cardinals. But again, man, I think Baker Mayfield time has ran out. I think the organization gave up on Baker Mayfield after last year by bringing in Deshaun Watson. They just did not feel that they can win with him anymore. So they pulled the trigger on Deshaun Watson. And Jacoby Brissett with the Colts, he was really good. He was okay. He was pretty solid. And with the Dolphins last year, almost had a couple of comeback wins.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett's career has been pretty interesting, right? I mean, he's still got a lot in the gas tank. He had an incredible year with the Colts after Andrew Luck retired. And that's asking a lot for somebody just to pick up the pieces for a guy that everybody considered, to be, the next coming of like the Peyton Manning and Drew Brees and Tom Brady. We were talking about him and Lamar Jackson being like the next two, and then one of those pieces of the puzzle just fell out because of the fact that unfortunately Chris Ballard wasn't his GM at the time. Chris Ballard's been doing an incredible job with the Colts, putting pieces around them, and it was just way too late. But what you said about Baker Mayfield being on the Browns is interesting. And I know we have a lot of Eagles fans that watch us. I don't think I necessarily have said this before. I don't think I said this yesterday at all, but you guys could end up like the Browns of 2 years ago when they set up that super team.
Yep.
Not all those pieces mesh well together. I mean, they grab pieces from everywhere. everybody was saying the Browns are going to the Super Bowl. They had all the pieces ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they do? They shit the bed because the chemistry and the scheme fit for all those players that just did not mesh well.
Yep.
So the Eagles could be the Browns of 2019 or 20, like all over again. So, just everybody hold your horses about, I mean, 2020, that's when they built that team.
Yep.
But, everybody hold your horses on the Eagles too, because we've seen, semi-super teams happen in the NFL, and it's just not like it is in the NBA, in the NHL, and baseball. It works out for those teams because you can be an individual player and still dominate. Where you're dependent on 10 other guys on the field outside of yourself, it's a lot hard to, mesh well together. But I just wanted to hit on that point because I thought that was,
if anybody know it, it's me and you, because we play, no matter what sport. This goes on in basketball, it goes on in football. Off the field chemistry is just off the field chemistry is a different thing. But when you're on that field, I mean, regardless of who you got, like Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield, they didn't mesh well at all last year. But it was times that they were working out. They were working out in the offseason. They were working out during practices and after practices. It just did not mesh well in real game speed on the field. Could that be the same about the Eagles? Could that be the same thing about Hurts and A.J. Brown? Very much could be. It very much could be. Anyone can go out, shop at the mall. Anybody can go out, throw a couple of balls and stuff like that, go on trips. Anybody can do that, but it's totally different from when you're on the field playing against another team. You can be best friends, but that doesn't mean you're going to mesh well on the actual field. And we do want to see this team mesh well on the actual field. And you're right, they could be the Browns. That team was supposed to, a lot of people was picking that team to get to the Super Bowl. Due to when they had a close loss against Kansas City, which is I think they should have won that game, because they gave up a 19-yard first down on a third down against a backup quarterback. I forgot the quarterback was that they put out Patrick Mahomes, and he runs up 19-yard first down, were proved to be the game winning drive right there. And like I say, man, like I say, I don't care what it is. You can have a stud on your team. You can be closest friends with the guy. You can go work out, throw a couple of balls every now and then, but that chemistry is on the field is totally different in game time speed and game time. That chemistry is totally different when you get out there. And, it's going to tell a lot about what these places like Davante Adams and Derek Carr. I actually don't know if that's going to work, but I think it can work. I think it can definitely work out with those two guys. They went to the same school together, but again, they have not played on the same team since Fresno State. What do you think about that? Do you think it actually can work? Do you think that's going to work? Do you think that can work? That definitely can work.
Yeah. First of all, can you hear me? I had to switch to my AirPods.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you perfect. I hear you perfectly.
All right. Is that better than what was before? Because I had you on my.
Yeah, it's better. It's better. Definitely. Better.
Okay. All right. So I want to answer your question with another situation that happened. When Matt Stafford went to the Rams and Von Miller went to the Rams, those two guys, what I don't think people realize about just having a whole bunch of brand new young pieces, those two guys can go to any system and work. Just because they've been in the league 10 plus years. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier for them just to fit in place and do their job. Like, especially if you come from a sucky team and you've had thousands of coaches like Von Miller and Matt Stafford had over the years. When they finally got under a good coach, you saw what happened. I mean, it was quite easily, they were the best team last year. I mean, let's just be real about it. The way that they played and won the Super Bowl, regardless of how you think they played during the regular season.
Yep.
But with Davante Adams and Derek Carr, of course.
Yep.
Of course they're going to have chemistry. They've been wanting to play. Davante Adams has been wanting to play with that guy for 3 years. I mean, he's been saying, he's been subtweeting, he's been inching towards trade me. I want to play with my guy. Derek is like, man, tweeting out pictures of them at Fresno State. They had chemistry, man. It's been years since they played together there,
Yep.
But the excitement between those two and just knowing what they are at this point in time, I expect them to have fireworks this year. You know,
Yep.
I expect Derek Carr to be in the MVP conversation towards the end of the year. I don't necessarily think that he's I don't think he's necessarily going to win it, but give it 2 years. Give it 2 years. I think not this year, but next year when they start playing together, Derek Carr might win the MVP.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Shout out to the chat. Jeff, if you want to come up, have a conversation, Sebastian, Vic, got some interesting topics we want to talk about. But now I want to get, this is an interesting one I want to bring up to you, Rob and ECG. This is an interesting one. All right, the best all-time running backs, fullbacks for every team. We got Seattle, Sean Alexander. All right, I'm gonna send you the link, Jeff. You got Sean Alexander for Seattle. You got Frank Gore from San Francisco. You got Marshall Faulk from the Rams. You got Otis Anderson from the Cardinals. You got Michael Turner from the Falcons. You got Mark Ingram from the Saints. You got Christian McCaffrey from the Panthers. You got Mike Allstott. He's a fullback from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Emmitt Smith, of course, he's Dallas. We got Steve Van something. He's an old running back from the Philadelphia Eagles. And we got John Riggins from from the Washington Redskins football Commanders. Then we got Tiki Barbara from you got Jim Taylor. Yep, that's who you talking about. That's what I'm talking about, big.
Steve Manvier. Oh God, that's way before most of our times.
You got Adrian Peterson for the Vikings. That's agreement right there.
Absolutely.
You got Barry Sanders. No question about that.
Everyone for fucking Detroit thing. I'll say this too about, but if Detroit were so incompetent, who knows how great Barry Sanders could have been years down the road. But it is what it is. Can't change history.
So what was the question, Coach?
You have I was naming. If you want, let's see if you agree with this. But we have the best running back, fullback in every franchise of all time, basically. The names from Seattle, you had Sean Alexander from Seattle. You had Sean Alexander. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with him being the best running back for Seattle of all time? But each in every franchise, the best running back. This is the best running back. This is a list.
Didn't Sean Alexander have a 2,000-yard season?
Yep.
Against Marshawn Lynch. I don't know, man. That's a hard one. That's a very hard one. I think because Marshawn Lynch actually won a touchdown, and you got to consider all factors there, man.
All right.
Just because somebody had a 2,000-yard season doesn't necessarily mean that they're the greatest running back either. I would have to go with Marshawn Lynch over Sean Alexander.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with ECG. Because the thing with Marshawn Lynch is it's like, yes, I think this is what ECG said it best. It's like, yeah, anyone can have a 2,000-yard season, but what Marshawn Lynch brings is like, yeah, he has speed, but he could also be that bruiser back. Let's be real, Pete Carroll, despite the fact that one mistake Pete Carroll should have rectified that. But he does have a Super Bowl with them as well. It's just like, yeah, I see Marshawn Lynch has a better all-around characteristics of being a great running back for that franchise.
Yeah.
Well, here's the question for that to support that. Do you consider Chris Johnson better than Earl Campbell or Eddie George?
Oh no.
Exactly. No. That's my argument with Sean Alexander versus Marshawn.
Yeah. No. Eddie George was definitely the dominant back. And no, not Earl Campbell. No, that's disrespectful. You don't do that.
Yeah. Earl Campbell was a beast.
Yeah, he was a beast before he got hurt. What's good, Jeff? That's my brother, Jeff, a Giants fan in the chat, man. His brother always coming up, showing some love. Very knowledgeable, very passionate Giants and Brooklyn Nets fan, and Nets fan as well. How you doing today, Jeff? How are you?
Doing good. How's everybody doing today? ECG, Philly Sports Talk Podcast, and my boy, Coach Dante. How's everybody doing on this Thursday? And there goes ECG.
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Happy
Not
to
too
have
bad.
you on. jumping on, man. Also, all the time to talk some sports, man. I really respect what you do, and I
Thank
really
you for
thank
having
you
me
for
on.
always jumping on. All of you guys, man, for always wanting to jump on and talk football, man, and just right up our alley. So we got Frank Gore from the 49ers. Is that obvious? He's
Oh
the
yeah,
best
that's
for the franchise.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think with longevity wise, I think that could be one of the. I don't know if ECG. I don't ECG probably might disagree. For me, I think it's just longevity for Frank Gore. In my opinion,
ECG.
That was some good running backs for the 49ers. I mean, you can even put Garrison Hurst up there. Who remembers him? But no, I go look at when Frank Gore was playing with the 49ers. I mean, he was pretty dominant. So I would say yes, longevity. I mean, the best was the best ability is availability. Is that what they say? So I mean, he was a legacy guy, man. He always showed up. I mean, several 1,000-yard seasons, several seasons over 8 touchdowns, which I consider the century mark for running backs during the season. So I gotta give it to Frank Gore, man. That dude's one of the greatest of all time, just because of longevity.
Yep. My guy Jeff, what you think about it? 49ers got Frank Gore listed as the best running back in their franchise.
I can't deny it. I mean, what's one of the hardest things to do in the NFL? That's have a long career and try to be able to last, especially at that running back position. And Frank Gore is a guy that doesn't really get talked about amongst one of the greatest running backs like he should be, because you have all these other guys that get trumped over because of the flash plays that they made in their careers, the big-time moments they had maybe in playoff games, even during the regular season. All Frank Gore did was just go out there and continue to produce great season after great season after great season with the San Francisco 49ers, and even etched out a very long career for himself over a span of about 16, 17, 18 years. Running backs don't last that long in the NFL. Most of them, by the time they turn 27, 28, 29 years old, they're done. They're getting towards the end of their career. So for a fact that a guy like Frank Gore can be able to put together the career he had, and he was number 3 all time right now, and in terms of rushing yards. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind why a guy like Frank Gore should not be the number 1 running back in San Francisco 49ers history. I mean, the guy is a phenomenal talent. Is he in the Hall? I believe he's in the Hall of Fame now, or he's going to be pretty much a Hall of Famer. He deserves it. He's one of the most underrated. Nobody talks about this guy as being an all-time great, and nobody gives him. Not a lot of people give this guy the respect that he deserves. Frank Gore, absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. I agree with what he said.
Was he like in his late 30s, early 40s?
Yeah. He was in his late 30s, early 40s.
That's crazy.
Great
One thing people forget is his gruesome injury down in Miami. He had 2 knee surgeries before he even came into the NFL. No one even thought that he'd be able to play in the NFL, let alone have the longevity that he had. That's something that's been underrated about Frank Gore.
Absolutely.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to somebody in the chat. If y'all don't know him, y'all go check him out. He does got a channel. Stuart Schwager. He used to play for Purdue.
Big Stu.
Play for the Raiders. A very good safety. He's a Raiders fan, but he used to play for the Oakland Raiders, not the Las Vegas Raiders. The Oakland Raiders. He's in the chat right now, and he does got a channel. Shout out to that brother, man. It's an honor.
Absolutely.
Always letting him on his channel all the time, man. So y'all go subscribe to my guy Stuart Schwager, man. He was the safety for the Oakland Raiders, and he was a damn good safety. Stuart Schwager, man. Shout out to you, Stu, Mr. Stu, from coming through the chat all the time, man. So
good to see you in the chat, Stuart.
Marshall Faulk, Rams. Marshall
Faulk, man.
You got to say he's probably one of the best running backs that's ever lived. One of the all-time can-do-it-all running backs in the mold of a Roger Craig, but he just, he upped it up a level. When you had him with Dick Vermeil, with the greatest thing on turf, they were wild. You couldn't stop it. Matter of fact, let's talk about it. He got traded for Edgerrin James to the Colts. James became, a star in his own way, but Marshawn even excelled even more after that trade. That's the crazy thing about it. He had a career with Indianapolis, and made an even better career when he went over with the Rams.
Yep.
Robert?
I agree with that. But then again, I really can't say for sure because that was 99, give or take?
99 to 2000.
Yeah, see, I would not remember about some people like players like Marshall Faulk because that was I was a young pup, about 2 years old, so I wouldn't really remember much about Kurt Warner and that entire that great Rams team back in the day. So I do agree with the Marshall Faulk as well.
Jeff?
Marshall Faulk, when you talk about one of the most dynamic and complete running backs, one of the first names you're going to think about is a Marshall Faulk. What that guy was able to do, and not only as a running back, but in the receiving game, because this guy was putting up monster numbers for before there were great offenses that were happening like nowadays where you see teams scoring a million points all over the place. You had the 1998, 1999, 2000 St. Louis Rams. With what Marshall Faulk was doing for that team was out of this world. He was averaging close to or over 2,000 yards every season for that Rams offense during that time period. This guy was the definition of a dual running back. He can kill you in the backfield. He can kill you in the passing game. He was a solid blocker, great leader. I mean, Marshall Faulk was as dynamic can be for that Rams offense. And besides Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, every single defense during that time period were always wondering where number 28 was for the St. Louis Rams every single game. So Marshall Faulk, arguably one of the most dynamic dual threat running backs that the NFL has ever seen.
And shout out to Faulk for being the greatest Aztec there is in college football. You know, he's one of our alums. But yeah, Marshall Faulk is probably the greatest Ram. You got Steven Jackson, who's in the argument, but listen, he may have more yards, but he wasn't the dynamic player that Marshall Faulk was.
Marshall Faulk could do some things that not a lot of running backs can do. Overall, he was impressive.
Said, Coach Dante and Robert is awesome. Appreciate it. Mr. Stu, AK said Curtis Martin. We got my boy Florida Bar Burns said Dante. Who you got for Baltimore? Willis McGahee, Ray Lewis, or Ray Rice? I got Ray. I'm going with Jamal Lewis. I'm going with Jamal Lewis all the way through. That dude.
Wait, was it for the running back for the Ravens?
Yeah, for the Ravens.
Jamal Lewis.
He was a Brown and a Raven. Yeah, but let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What would you put Curtis Martin as? A New York Jet or a New England Patriot? Because he had success in both.
I think he had success in both, but I remember him as a Jet. Actually.
I think most of his success was with the Jets, but he was damn impressive with the Patriots too. But I think his really good peak years were with the New York Jets. I have to go back and look at the numbers, but Curtis Martin is another guy. And this guy was incredible as a running back in his time.
Mm-hmm.
He was. I think he's top 5 in all-time rushing, I believe, or is he just right outside?
I think he might be top 10.
Yeah, he's another guy that nobody talks about. You know, some people talk about as one of the greatest running backs of all time, but Curtis Martin, his time was special. And this guy wasn't a diva or a problem or anything off. He was he's just a good dude, tremendous running back, great leader. Everything that he did for both those organizations, he was special. He was an absolute.
Yeah, I was gonna
go ahead.
I was gonna make an argument for Marshall Faulk and Derek Dickerson because this is very funny. Doing some side research, I was researching both of these guys 2 days ago. For whatever strange reason, I was like, this same conversation came up in my head. Eric Dickerson all day is the best Rams running back.
Okay.
Not only did Eric Dickerson, he was one of the very first running backs to ever have
2,000 yards.
2,000 yards receiving.
Yep.
He doesn't get enough love for that. But look up how many running backs actually average close to 100 yards a game outside of Jim Brown. He's number 3 on the list. He averaged 90 yards a game rushing. So with that being said, if we're just talking about pure, Marshall Faulk gets credit for being the ambassador of what a running back could be as a dual threat. I think he was the pioneer of that when you really look at it. Perfected the craft, of being the Christian McCaffrey, the Alvin Kamara's, while putting up 1,000 yards, rushing every single year.
Mm-hmm.
But if I got to go to the legacy guy, the things that they were doing back in the day, different time periods as well. 90 yards rushing the game versus Marshall Faulk, I think he was 68 or something like that.
Yep.
I got to give it to Eric Dickerson, man.
I'm not mad at that.
The first one, and he's still the rushing leader of all time in the season.
Oh, I agree with you. I mean, if you're going by pure running backs, in terms of just running the football, Eric Dickerson all day is a better running, a better just rushing in terms of like the rushing running back position, Eric Dickerson's better than Marshall Faulk. It's difficult because they're two totally different types of running. Yeah, it's splitting hairs because they're two different types of running backs. I mean, Dickerson was just a power guy straight up the middle. He was just strictly a running back, while Marshall Faulk was a dual threat guy. So I mean, it is really splitting hairs.
Think about all the great running backs that they've had, though.
Oh,
Eric Dickerson, Marshall Faulk, Steven Jackson, Todd Gurley. Like, they've been blessed with really good running backs over the years.
Absolutely. And Steven Jackson doesn't get a lot of love for how good he was in his prime.
Dude, he was dominant. Remember, who was the running back that was on the Redskins? Big guy like him around the same time.
Oh, that was Freddie Man for Miami. He was also Miami running back. Oh, my God, why am I forgetting his name? Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis.
Well. Oh, yeah, Clinton Portis is another one.
No, not Clinton Portis. Not Clinton Portis.
Alfred Morris?
He was a big guy.
What year was
Alfred
it?
Morris.
Alfred Morris, yeah.
It was in the early 2000s. I'll remember him, but Steven Jackson and him were like, dang,
2000. Let me see.
Because Clinton Portis is the only one I can think of because they traded Champ Bailey for him. That was like their prime back in the early 2000s.
Clinton Portis was a beast, but hold on.
Steven Davis? Steven Davis. Yeah, I remember him.
Oh, wow.
Steven Davis.
Yep, Steven Davis was good.
Yep. So we got the Cardinals. Otis Anderson from the Cardinals. Otis Anderson.
Not too much about Otis Anderson. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Neither do I.
Otis
Otis Anderson is the only running back to win the Heisman twice.
Otis O.J. Anderson?
How's that possible?
That's for the Cardinals, for the Arizona Cardinals. It has Otis Anderson.
Otis Anderson won the Heisman twice?
Yep, he was the first one to do it with Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken.
Two-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Football
I feel like
Giants,
shit,
too.
and I'm a college guy.
This is really interesting. This next one is
Hey,
really
I can eat crow every
But let me ask you a question, and I know he didn't stay there that long, but could you make an argument for Edgerrin James? Because he was a Cardinal as well.
Edgerrin James?
Edgerrin James was a Cardinal. Before his career was over, he was a Cardinal.
The numbers, man.
Yeah.
I'll say a Colt. He had some solid seasons, but his best games were with the Colts.
AK asked me a question. AK said Edgerrin James or Sean Alexander. I like the Sean Alexander, bro. Sean
Alexander was good too in his prime.
He had like 3 good seasons though. That was it.
Yep. I like the Sean Alexander. I mean, Edgerrin James longevity, he was good. He was good too, man. Not taking none away. Edgerrin James was a beast.
Did you guys see the Chiefs yet? Because that's a tough one too.
Yeah, that would be.
Because there's a bunch of good Chiefs running backs in that time period too. There's a lot of good ones.
The next
Priest
one,
Holmes.
The next one.
Priest Holmes and the Beast. Larry Johnson is another one.
Jamal Charles.
Oh yeah.
The next one we got is Michael Turner from the Falcons. They got Michael Turner.
He was
Jamal
good.
Anderson.
Yep.
Michael Turner
like I
was
said.
nice. He was nice for that Falcons.
Michael Turner came in as a backup, right? Because didn't they have Ward Gunn at the time?
Yep.
Let's not forget Ward Gunn.
Mm-hmm. Falcons had some nice running backs too in that late '90s, early to mid 2000s time. It's some really good running backs
But
around there.
they got the NFC edition though. They got the NFC edition. This is the NFC edition. So the next guy, I don't know if nobody would agree with this, but it didn't seem like he played too long for them. Mark Ingram for the Saints.
Well, the Saints didn't really have much, so you kind of got to give it to him.
Deuce
You can
McAllister.
still Ricky Williams.
Deuce McAllister right now.
Oh wow, dude,
that dude was.
That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Deuce was good.
I forgot. I forgot Deuce McAllister. That was what
Priest
2000.
Pierre Thomas was
like
bad
12.
either.
But how many years did Deuce really have?
2008,
Deuce had what?
2012.
Deuce had what, like a good 5-year run?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I wouldn't put Mark Andrew in that conversation. That's Deuce McAllister right now.
Yeah, I was about to say give that to Deuce because I think he had better numbers at the
For the
time.
most part, he was
Deuce
the
had
face of the organization.
Deuce had a 1,300-yard season, a 1,600-yard season, a 1,000-yard season, another 1,000-yard season. So he's had 4 seasons over 1,000 yards. 10, 9, 8, 13 were touchdown totals from those years. I don't know, man.
How many Pro
Pierre
Bowls?
Thomas? Pierre Thomas was another guy that had that.
2-time Pro Bowler.
Okay. Pierre Thomas was good too.
Burns said he got Warwick Dunn for the Falcons. Warwick Dunn was pretty good for the Falcons.
Yeah.
Well, how far back are we going for the Falcons?
I might give it to Jamal Anderson.
No, like that was Michael Turner. They got Michael Turner as the best back for the Falcons, but you can debate with Warrick Dunn. You can debate with Jamal Anderson. Probably was the best Falcon. Probably was the best Falcon that I probably.
Jamal Anderson was better in his
beast.
stint with the Falcons.
Jamal Anderson was good in his time. Yeah.
Warrick Dunn didn't score a ton of touchdowns. His peak touchdowns were 9, and then after that was 3, 4, 4. Like.
That was the point I was going to make for Turner because I know he used to be a touchdown machine.
What up, Tosh? So
What's up, Tosh?
We got Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers. That's what they got. They got Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, no.
What was my guy out of Oregon that they used to have?
D'Angelo Williams.
I'll put Jonathan Stewart. Because he was their trusty for a while.
Either or. Jonathan Stewart or D'Angelo Williams were better than Christian McCaffrey because they were healthy most of their career. And those guys, they're putting up 1,000-yard seasons almost every season. It was like one of the best 1-2 running back combinations you had for years with those two in Carolina. Oh, yeah, they're both of them.
What about Tim Biakapatuka? And Stephen Davis was on that team, too.
Stephen Davis was awesome, but dude, he just hurt my heart right now. He just hurt my heart with him.
You pulled that name out of your ass on that one, Tim Biakapatuka.
I got something that ECG gonna like right here. He gonna love this one.
Chris Winky?
He's from Tampa Bay. We got Mike Allstott from Tampa Bay.
One of my favorite players of all time.
How can you not love Allstott? Mike Allstott was great.
Bro filled in at running back halfway through the season and ran for 1,000 yards. That's incredible for a fullback.
But Warrick Dunn is in the conversation also with the Bucks.
Warrick Dunn is the best Tampa Bay Bucks running back. There's no question.
They got him as a fullback. They got him list. This is like running back and fullback right here. They got running back and fullback list right here.
Could you imagine if Mike Allstott was playing now? How crazy that would be?
There's no pure. The fullbacks of the game are just glorified tight ends. That's it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yep.
We don't see the neck roll. We don't see the big neck roll. You know what I'm saying? Fullbacks in the league no more, bro.
No, you see them all the time.
Cowboy collar. Remember that when you said the cowboy collar? Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
That was good times.
Mike also didn't wear no gloves, bro. He put the two whatchamacallit, sweatbands on, and that was it, bro. He was like, "Meet me in the middle, son. I got you." Hold on, I need to just throw up a picture of Mike Allstott real quick for the culture, bro. Rest in peace.
Yeah, do you remember when ESPN would just throw highlights of just him knocking linebackers out?
Bro,
that dude was built. He would knock you on your ass when he hit you.
He didn't really have a neck.
The real conversation here. Do you guys consider Mike Allstott a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
As a fullback, yes.
One of the all-time greatest fullbacks in the NFL.
He's not even in the conversation. They don't even put him on the ballot.
Mike Allstott and Lorenzo Neal are the two greatest fullbacks to ever live.
Lorenzo Neal.
Who's the other one?
Lorenzo Neal.
Lorenzo Neal was a beast too, bro.
Yeah, it was.
You gotta give me respect.
Lorenzo Neal need to get credit for LaDainian Tomlinson's career.
Ask LaDainian Tomlinson how good Lorenzo Neal was, because it wasn't for Neal blocking like he did. Tomlinson might have not had the rushing numbers that he had for most of the time because Neal was such a beast.
You know about the white Spider 2 white banana, bro? That was Lorenzo Neal's shit, son. Like if we talk about plays, the Spider 2 white banana was meant for Lorenzo Neal, bro. That dude could catch a ball out of the backfield, and he was like, again, meet me in the middle, bro. I got you. One of the best pass catching tight ends or fullbacks of all time, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, shout out to my boy Mike Allstott. Imagine this dude coming at you, bro.
I knew ECG was gonna love that when
you know what? Mike Allstott was so good. If I was in my car in a head-on collision with Mike Allstott, my car would lose, yo. Straight up. He would total my shit.
Damn. So we got a couple of.
You ever see two Rams coming at each other? You can see Mike Allstott hitting a Ram and taking one out.
Yeah, cram, and then every time, bro, with the helmet on.
Any fullback right now that might be anywhere near the conversation might be Juszczyk. Juszczyk was good too, but he's mostly now like that hybrid fullback / tight end that they use a lot.
He's a glorified tight end.
Yeah. But he was good too in terms of being a blocking fullback at times as well.
Yeah,
there's like nobody that is even in the conversation of what Lorenzo Neal or Mike Allstott did.
What's the homie from the Ravens?
He was the fullback.
Yeah, Ravens fullback. He's good too.
Yep.
He doesn't get talked about enough. Patrick Ricard, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, Ricard is solid.
Yep. So we got a couple of no doubters at the bottom of this. Cowboys, Emmitt Smith.
Oh,
No
yeah.
doubter.
That's not even close.
There's no debate.
No
Yeah,
conversation.
there's no one else in the conversation.
It's like Emmitt Smith and everybody else, bro.
Sorry, Cowboy fans. It's not Ezekiel Elliott. I'm sorry.
But let me just say, R.I.P. Marion Barber.
We got Vic Boyd.
Yep.
We got
Marion Barber was Marshawn Lynch.
He's an old school guy. How you say his name, Big? I know I can say his first name. Steve what?
Steve Van Buren.
Steve Van Buren?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say, as an Eagles fan, I'm gonna object to this. Like, I understand he was a guy from the past, but you gotta understand that was a different game. That's so long ago.
That was a different era of football.
I'm gonna have to give it to Shady McCoy as the best Eagles running back. Hands down.
Sean McCoy pretty much.
You can make an argument for others,
Westbrook.
but I'm gonna say
Brian
Shady.
Westbrook was good too.
Yes, he was. That's what I said. You can make an argument for others, but I'm gonna have to say Shady.
I feel like Shady, I think, had and I love Westbrook, but I think Shady was a little bit of a better back.
Shady was a damn pain in the ass coming from a Giants fan playing against him. That guy was a pain in the ass to cover.
And we all know that on the common game against Detroit.
Yep. So I love this guy, and I think ECG would like this one too. For the Washington Redskins, I think he was a fullback, but he used to run people over. John Riggins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
John Riggins would bite his own fingers, bro. Like, he was a beast.
Riggins most definitely.
Jeff, this shouldn't be a problem. If this is is it even close? Tiki Barber from the Giants.
Well, I could say Otis Anderson too. I mean, he was good in the late '80s, early '90s, and he won us a couple of Super Bowls, including being a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, you could maybe throw him up there. I mean, we were all hoping that Saquon Barkley would be that guy in the conversation, but I mean, Tiki Barber struggled the beginning of his career, in terms of getting to those numbers, had some injury issues, but man, when you're talking about the type of run Tiki Barber had from like 2000 to like the end of his career in 2006, Tiki Barber was just he was consistently one of the best running backs in the NFL, and he was approaching 2,000 yards almost every season. He was incredibly versatile dual running back / receiving back. I mean, Tiki Barber was unbelievable. And Giants fans crap all over him all the time because of some of the things he says. Tiki Barber was an unbelievable talent for the New York Giants. Besides Amani Toomer, Tiki Barber has the second most catches in terms of a New York Giant receiving option all time in their history. I mean, Tiki Barber was an unbelievable player for the Giants. And anybody that compares Tiki Barber with Saquon Barkley, stop it. Tiki Barber was the best.
Tiki Barber's superior.
Yeah,
the only other running back that could compare up to Tiki Barber, and it's just because he had a short career. But watching Ahmad Bradshaw play was amazing.
Was good too, and Jacobs as well, both of them.
Brandon Jacobs, they just had short careers. Like, just is what it is.
All those Giants players.
No love for Ron Dane.
Ron Dane had a short career as well.
Hey,
I thought a guy like Rodney Hampton would be like that, but Rodney Hampton didn't really do much from the New York Giants when he was brought over. I mean, Rodney Hampton was sort of a bust, or even a guy like Dave Meggett. I mean, Dave Meggett was another one. I mean, the New York Giants have had some busts at the running back position.
Yeah.
Guys,
Ron Dane
don't even get me started with Ron Dane.
Ron Dane had his best year with the Texans, actually.
I'll tell you one guy, though. One guy that could have been special, and it's unfortunate what happened to him, David Wilson. David Wilson was something when he came out in that first year with the Giants in 2011, and it sucks what happened to him that he had to suffer that career-ending injury after his first year in the league. But David Wilson looked like he was going to be something special. He was good in his rookie year, and then
I would have loved to see what's his name from Ohio State play, man. Maurice Clarett, bro.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see him play, but.
Well, didn't he get picked up by an NFL team? Wasn't it the Panthers?
No, it was a CFL team.
No, you are right. It was the Broncos.
Yeah, I know he played in the CFL a little bit, and he was ass.
Yeah. We probably ain't gonna know this guy, but the Packers, they got Jim Taylor. Probably don't know.
From who?
From the Packers. Jim Taylor. It's Jim Taylor.
Ahmad Green, Dorsey Levens.
Dorsey Levens.
Ahman Green was awesome too for that Packers team.
The Packers have been around for a long time, so I mean,
yeah. He showed robbed the hell out my damn Houston Texans. He showed robbed us. He done a good job of robbing us. So these three has got to be no doubters. I think these three may be no doubters right here. So you got the Vikings, Adrian Peterson.
Yeah,
without question.
Doubter. That's 100%.
Absolutely.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If it weren't for, like I said before, if it weren't for Detroit's incompetency, who knows how great Barry Sanders could have been without this later down his career. But
I think he was the best running back of all time, so that's no question for me.
Yep.
Has there really been a running back in Detroit since Barry Sanders?
Nope. Barry Sanders was something special.
Barry Sanders had the most tackles for loss against him and still put up the numbers that he did. Did y'all know that?
Yep.
If you go look at the tackles for loss numbers, he was the most tackled running back behind the line of scrimmage ever of all time.
That's crazy.
And he played with nothing but ass quarterbacks, straight ass quarterbacks. It was not really.
It was like 2,500 yards or something like that. It was something outrageous.
The time that this dude all played, you name me a good half of a good quarterback that played with him. Rodney Peete, Scott Mitchell. He hasn't had a good quarterback ever since he played with the Detroit Lions. His whole career, I see a good quarterback.
He had nothing on that offense besides Herman Moore, too. I mean, Herman Moore was a good receiver, but I mean, besides him, there was really nobody else on that Lions offense but Barry Sanders. And he still was able to put up the numbers.
The boys had Charlie Batch, ass.
Exactly.
Oh, damn.
And he still put up those ridiculous numbers. No wonder why he retired. The only organization that could have two generational talents on their team and have them both retire early on in their careers because of how crappy of an organization Detroit was.
That's crazy.
They make players not want to play anymore, bro.
Yeah.
Because players play through injuries all the time. Like you can say what you want about Calvin Johnson. Oh, my ankle. Yeah, right, bro. If you were to go play on the Patriots, you would have been ready to play every fucking game. Let's be serious about this.
Yeah.
They just suck the fun out of it for him. I understand, bro. Yeah. That's like your job coming in and being like, all right, 2 of your team members quit. Now you're going to get all their work instead of us hiring anybody because we don't have enough money to hire 2 more people. You'd feel the same pressure. You'd be like, man, fuck this. I'm out. I don't want to do this shit no more.
At that time when you watched Detroit, you wanted to watch Barry Sanders. You didn't give a damn about neither other player on that team. They had quarterbacks that couldn't get the ball to the wide receivers. The defensive line always stacked the box and still couldn't stop Barry Sanders whatsoever. They still couldn't stop Barry.
Let's clap it up for the Lions on letting Matthew Stafford go though. At least they did something right.
I would love to cut that up right now.
Yeah, that's the only accolade they have is letting that man go to go be great.
Yep. Leaves the Lions that next year wins the Super Bowl. Story of the Detroit Lions right there.
I said that last January. Once he got traded, I was like, oh, they're about to win the Super Bowl. So, people are like, all right, you're crazy.
The last one, Walter Payton for Chicago.
Ooh.
Definitely.
Oh.
Definitely. you can say Gale Sayers. I'm sorry, Walter's the guy.
Gale Sayers is up there. If that guy stayed healthy, I think he would have been better than Walt Payton.
I agree with that, man. I think just out of respect for what Walter Payton did, man, outside of what Gale Sayers was doing. I mean,
give it to sweetness.
Yeah, you got to give it to him. You can't. You could say, yeah, he probably would have been projected better, but who knows? Walter Payton was around. He did what he did.
Matt Forte was good, too, for the Bears at that time as well. I mean, he's not in that realm, but Forte was really good in his prime.
Forte was a fantasy beast, yo. If you had Matt Forte on your team, you was good. You was about to win.
Yep.
Matt Forte and Thomas Jones, when they had that little pig, they were both good.
Absolutely.
This is very interesting right here. Give me each team with NFC East, NFC West, NFC North, AFC East, AFC West, AFC North, and South. Give me an MVP that's not a quarterback on the team. An MVP that is not a quarterback.
Now?
For each team. for each team.
Now
That's not a quarterback. It can be a quarterback, but an MVP
Can't be a
quarterback.
See that you guys know
for this present year upcoming or all time.
for this for last based off last year because nobody played this year, so we're gonna go based off.
I know. I think the most obvious number one is probably Derrick Henry. I think that's pretty much the number one obvious answer. That should have been an MVP. Another guy that's you could definitely make the argument for was Jonathan Taylor. So that's two right there.
I agree with that.
This is how I'm gonna do it. I will start in the AFC South. Robert, give me Jaguars.
So Jaguars.
Not a
Good
quarterback.
Lord.
It can't be a quarterback.
Oh, that's
Not a quarterback.
That's a tough one because Jaguars don't
I know.
even have that.
You
That's
cannot-
no
you
great
cannot be a
players.
quarterback.
Well,
LaVisca Chenault.
Okay.
Chanel. But if let's say we go back to like 2017, maybe Calais Campbell played out of his goddamn mind. I mean, that's one guy I would have.
Are we saying all time?
We're saying 2021 or all time?
2021, just the best.
2021, all right.
Oh, if we had to choose
That's tough.
Yeah.
Derrick
Cooper
Henry
Kupp, hands down.
season. So we're talking AFC South first, right?
Yes.
Yes.
AFC South
Jaguars?
Yes.
Miles Jack. I think Miles Jack was another one of those guys for that Jaguars defense.
I would say 2021 probably Josh Allen.
Okay.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
that's
too.
tough. Yeah, I would agree with ECG with Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh
The
Allen.
fact that he made history like Josh Allen, second Josh Allen, and all that shit going on.
Yeah. Josh
Who
Allen.
you going with?
And we're doing what,
Trubisky's
AFC
close.
South?
Yeah, AFC South Jaguars. We're doing the Jaguars first.
Oh, the Jaguars? Ooh, I'm gonna have to give it to Robinson.
That was my pick. You stole my pick, even though
Yeah, James Robinson.
From 2021?
I was actually going to think about picking ETN.
I thought we were just talking about this past season.
Yeah.
Well, even 2018, if we were talking about the year before that, James Robinson was the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, like again, I know it's production year. I know I said I know he wasn't that productive, but Urban Meyer did not use the guy. He stopped using the guy. He did not use the guy.
He stopped using him. Not only did he stop using them, but when he started using them, he got hurt. How disappointing is that shit?
That's very disappointing.
All right, so we're gonna go with the Texans MVP.
Oh fuck.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks. That's an easy
Brandon
one.
Cooks. Sure, easily. Brandon Cooks.
I would say Davis Mills because Brandon Cooks was probably the first 6 weeks. After that, he was non-existent.
All right, I'm gonna go off the radar. I'm not gonna make it easy.
That's your team.
Yep, I know. Realistically, you'll go with Brandon Cooks. You'll go with Brandon Cooks realistically, but I'm going to go with someone on the defense that nobody really. I think me and ECG brought him up. I'm going to go with Veruja Hill. Veruja Hill, the linebacker.
Ooh. Grugier Hill. Yep.
Yep, he was.
Yeah, I mentioned him a couple weeks ago. He's awesome.
Yep. He was awesome.
Groomed by the
That's a
Eagles,
good
by the
pick,
way.
Dante.
Well, are you talking about Cameron Kruger Hill?
Yep, he was
Yeah.
awesome.
Former Eagle.
Oh, damn it.
You talking about
His
sacks,
things.
interception.
Oh, jeez.
Tackling machine.
He was great last year. Tackling machine all over the place. Now he did have some injuries.
Man, that
He
shit
did.
fucking stings.
He had some injuries, but he was all over the place last year for Houston. Last year. So
Well, I say he was decent in Philadelphia. I'll say that much. But
Yes, he was.
just, God damn it.
Yo, so we're gonna go with the Colts. We're gonna go with
This
the
is
Colts.
tough. There's a good amount of them that could be MVPs.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, no doubt.
I'm going off the grid. I'm going to say DeForest Buckner for what he did.
Ooh,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Buckner,
I like
Buckner's a
that.
good one.
Is it like
Or I can even say Quiddy Pay, another one.
like
There's a lot of
Darius
guys.
Leonard.
Darius
That's me.
Leonard.
Jackson. You got a couple. What was the oh my god, the cornerback Rhodes. He held up pretty well as well.
Yeah, Xavier
Michael
Rhodes.
Pittman Jr.
Xavier Rhodes.
I
Yep.
like Pro
Right,
Bowl.
Cole's got
Kenny
some.
Moore.
Cole's got.
Yeah, Keenan Moore. Yeah.
Pro Bowl.
Hey, can we give a shout out to Carson Wentz? Can he be in the conversation because he did hold it up in the beginning half of the season?
Quentin Nelson.
Quentin
Wait, oh,
Nelson.
yeah,
You got
Quentin
all-
Nelson.
you got
Good
seven Pro
Lord.
Bowlers in
That's
that
a good
team,
pick,
dude, that
too.
you can name. Any one of them could be the MVP of that team. Anyone could be the MVP.
Shit.
I liked what Dante said before. Kenny Moore is a good pick.
Oh,
Kenny
Kenny-
Moore was
Yeah.
an
I
underrated.
like
I-
Kenny Moore. He's one of my favorite corners. He's one of my favorite corners that played.
Who's their center? He had a really good year last year.
Allen, I think. No.
No, that's what the fuck's his name?
We're not talking about no,
Kid
Nelson's
from
a guard.
Clemson?
No, yeah, Nelson's a guard.
The kid.
No, I'm not talking about Quentin Nelson.
No, I can't remember his goddamn name.
Matt Allen. I think it's like something Allen. So they think he was a center at Clemson.
I can see his face.
All right, so I'm gonna there we go. He already brought himself up. So here we go. Welcome to the conversation.
I'm gonna keep myself camped down right now. I got a little bit of Wi-Fi issues, but if y'all can see me clearly, we good. I had to come on here. I was watching it, and I had to come on here.
It's fun, man. It's fun.
Shit.
It's fun. We discuss it, man.
Ryan Kelly.
That's it. Ryan Kelly. He's good too.
Who we talking about?
We talking about
the Colts.
Each team MVP, but it can't be a quarterback. It cannot be a quarterback. Each team MVP. It cannot be a quarterback. It just can't.
So if I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts, I'm going with Jonathan Taylor, clear as day.
Yeah, well, yeah. A lot of,
and we had well, not just Jonathan Taylor, but there's pretty other ones like Quinton. I just played out of his mind. It was. I mean, we don't know as obvious as Jonathan Taylor because he had him and Derrick Henry.
Out of this world with a year last year. I mean,
absolutely. If you want to go defensively, I mean, you could go Darius Leonard too if you want to go that route.
Yeah, Darius Leonard was kind of hurt last year.
I would say DeForest Buckner. I think
DeForest Buckner was the best defender last year.
Buckner changed that defense when he came in from the 49ers. How good he played.
Wait, it wasn't Buckner a linebacker?
No, he's a defensive line.
He was a defensive
D-line.
D-lineman.
Yeah, I think he had a pretty good year with the Colts.
He's probably one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. DeForest Buckner. The guy's a game changer in the middle.
Yeah, I agree.
This dude got hurt. Tennessee. How about Tennessee?
What are you talking about? Derrick Henry?
Nah, the linebacker. I forgot his name right now.
I'm going on their defense.
The linebacker?
Yeah,
what the hell is his name?
Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons in the middle of their defense was a difference maker. Or Kevin Byard. Either one of those two guys, but I'm going with Simmons.
Kevin Byard.
Okay.
Oh, Kevin Byard
was
an interesting
game wrecker in the middle of that.
Kevin Byard gets so many turnovers for their team. It's ridiculous.
He does.
Yep.
I really don't care about the Titans at this point. I don't. When
thank you, Tennessee.
I don't. Only reason why I say that because when you give up when you get 9 sacks in the playoffs and you still lose a game, I don't care about you. I'm sorry.
Not to mention too, we traded our 2 picks for a young start like another number 1 receiver in AJ Brown. So I mean.
Yeah. And their offensive line's not that good as it was.
Deontay Foreman, you got to go for love.
I'm sorry, you get 9 sacks on the defense. You should
win the
football
game. That's embarrassing.
I'll give you 2 words.
On to the next one.
I got 2 words for you. Ryan Tannehill. That's why. That's why they couldn't get it done. Tannehill sucked.
Until they change the quarterback, they still will suck.
Exactly. You're right. Their defense wrecked the game when they played, and the offense couldn't do anything.
Y'all talking about the Titans?
Yeah, they talking about the
Titans. Titans were the number 1 seed last year. They don't suck that much.
They was an overrated number 1 seed, a very overrated number 1 seed. Let's keep it real.
I understand, but a number 1 seed is a number 1 seed.
So were the Green Bay Packers.
And you see they was one and done. They did not deserve to be that number 1 seed.
Well, to give the Titans credit, they didn't have Derrick Henry for half a season.
True, you're right.
That is true.
True, but still, they were still
and
one and
Jones
done.
And Brown missed a lot of games too.
I didn't think that. To be honest,
I was expecting Julio not to do nothing when he got there. I was not expecting
because it's a run-first offense.
And it's not the same Julio.
Just that. It's not even just that. The best ability is availability. He was barely available.
I mean, yes. Let's look at the division that they played in. But to be a number 1 seed when you have the Chiefs and the Bills and the Chargers and those guys in your division,
regular season champs. That's all they was. They were just overrated. They had one of the worst divisions in the AFC. So, of course, they was going to be number 1 seed.
That team would be good because of their defense.
They had one of the worst divisions in football. One of them, but one of the worst divisions in the AFC in itself.
They did beat some good teams out of conference, too. They did beat the 49ers. They beat the Rams without.
They got a good defense.
They beat
the
49ers when the 49ers was down to their last leg with Debo Samuel had to play every position on offense. Damn near.
And Jimmy Garoppolo didn't have a great game either. He threw some terrible interceptions coming right up out of the half. I put them in. Yeah, he threw one.
I'm not going to talk about Garoppolo
at the halftime, and he threw one in.
Garoppolo, the definition of a game manager.
The only argument that I guess I kind of have is like, if you're not prepared to play every game, let's give credit for the Titans for at least showing up every game. You can't control what the other team does. They're the number one seed. I just gotta take a step back and be like, number one seed for a reason. I mean, every team's got to play. You got to play.
Yeah.
And one thing, Mike Vrabel doesn't get enough credit as he should, because he's one of the best
awesome
coaches in the NFL.
He's an awesome coach, but at the end of that game, game management was very horrible by him at the end of that game.
You're
at
right.
the end of that game. But he's still a great coach. But sometimes that happens with great coaches. You make bad decisions sometimes. They're not perfect, you know.
And we're all
the team will go as far as their defense takes them. Their defense will be the reason that team could be good this year.
So
their offense is going to struggle.
We got the AFC North. We're going to go start with Cleveland.
God, don't go to the West yet, because I don't want to talk
about
AFC
North. I'm going to do that last. That's going to be last.
Dante was going to troll me and go AFC
Nah, that's going to be last.
I'll do it.
I'm going to hold you out for last. All right, so we go Cleveland
Browns.
Who you think of?
Ooh, I say Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett has been.
I think that's the obvious.
I'm going to the offensive line. I'm saying Patino or their other guard. What's the other guard? Not Treader, but their right guard.
Right guard.
Treader's not there anymore. He's a free agent. He's still out there on the market.
I forget who their right tackle or the right guard is. He was also a Pro Bowler, and also Conklin and
the other side. Yeah, Nick Chubb.
Denzel Ward would be another one. I can't see Landry because he was not good.
Going to have a good year this year. I really think he's going to have a standout year this year.
Yeah, I could see that.
I can see it happening, but I mean, please nobody say Amari Cooper because he's soft.
No, he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt.
Soft
they can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
ECG, who you would choose for the MVP, Cleveland MVP?
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, okay.
Yeah, that's
by far.
That's the best player on the team.
You can argue that he's better than TJ Watt. There's an argument to be said.
You can argue that. You can argue that.
Yep.
He disrupts plays more than TJ Watt does. TJ Watt has a team around him that helps him disrupt plays. Like,
if Garrett is healthy, he's probably the best pass rusher in the NFL right now.
Yes,
absolutely.
Dude, from the neck up, Myles Garrett just looks like a regular dude. From the neck down, though, he's a monster, bro. It's like somebody built a Lego man with the wrong head on it, bro.
Only other guys on that Browns team you could think about is maybe Denzel Ward and a couple of those offensive linemen and Chubb. Nobody else. Definitely not quarterback, not the wide receivers, not the linebackers, nobody else on that defensive line or the safeties. And don't tell me about Greedy Williams because that guy spends more time on the bench than he does on the field.
That's an awesome name for a cornerback, though. Let me tell you.
It is, yeah.
Vic, who you got, Vic? I guess Vic left the building for a little bit. All right, so we're gonna go with the Baltimore.
No, I was here.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
had mentioned Denzel Ward.
Okay.
Denzel Ward is a good one.
Baltimore Ravens.
But I will say this about Myles Garrett though. Like, you ever seen that one picture? It looks like these rare bulls that are like in Europe. They're white and they look ridiculously masculine, dumb, muscular. Myles Garrett looked like one of them. Like, his thighs are his arms. That's how wide and big he is.
It's giving Earl Campbell all over again.
Listen, when he went against, who was that, Madison Rudolph, and he had that helmet in his hand, I literally thought my guy was about to decapitate someone on national TV. It was about to go
I
down.
agree.
I don't know why you think it's smart to anger a man that size. Listen, you better be his best friend. Have a Snicker in hand.
I'm gonna tell you. I got some Vic, Spotlight, Robert, and Jeff. Y'all want a power forward? Look at Myles Garrett. That dude can play too. That dude can hoop too.
Daryl Morey, call Myles Garrett right now.
He got some good.
Hey, Sean Marks, pick up the phone, Sean Marks. Let's go. Pick up that phone. I know you're too busy with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Pick up that damn phone.
This dude is strong, but for him to be that
big, the way this man is built, it's like this dude's like a Frankenstein's monster. Like this. What do we got? We got Baltimore next.
Yeah, Baltimore. Who y'all?
Mark Andrews.
Yeah. Mark Andrews. I'm trying to think. Who's on the? I mean, if it were.
Oh, Ola.
I'm gonna say Chuck Clark.
Clark has been a pretty good one.
He's
say
pretty
Marlon
good.
Humphrey too.
Latavius Murray for carrying that running back core.
ECG, who you choosing? He thinking.
I was gonna say Mark Andrews, but
Okay.
hold on. Let me think about that. Talk so much yourselves.
I would say Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah,
Who's healthy.
I think it's hilarious. No one even. What was that? No one even said Hollywood Brown though. No one even gave him the credit where I think that last year was his best statistical season.
Yeah, but
I mean,
You got like Tyus Bowser. He was pretty good in that Wake Martindale system last year. He's all right.
I'm gonna say Ronnie Stanley, man.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not mad at that.
Rodney Stanley. Okay, that's an interesting.
When he's healthy, he's a beast, man.
That's true. That's the big question, when he's actually healthy.
Yep. So we got Pittsburgh.
I know the most obvious.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Yep.
I'm going Mika Fitzpatrick.
If we're going by last year's standards, Mika Fitzpatrick was a little.
Yeah, Mika Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it's off of last year's standards.
Cameron Hayward.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
He stepped up big time last year.
The running back Harris.
Najee Harris was good. He didn't fumble at all.
He did everything for them though.
Najee Harris could do what he could do with the quarterback that he had. You know, Britton Roethlisberger was on his way out. You know, so you could do what you could do, but I could throw Najee Harris in there too. But I do like Minka based off last year.
But with Najee as a rookie, he literally carried that team.
All right, so
I can't say Deontay Johnson. He dropped the ball too damn much. Too damn much. He dropped the ball.
I had him in my fantasy and I was pissed.
It seemed like he dropped 2 or 3 balls every single game. He still had over 1,000 yards.
He will definitely be a snub in my fantasy this year. That's a fact.
so we got the last team, the Bengals, Cincinnati.
Oh,
that's an interesting one.
Well, most
You
people
know
are
what?
going to say Chase.
A lot of people are going to say that. I think a lot of people are going to say Burrow. I'm going to give you one defensive. I'm going to give you one offensive.
Go for it.
Defensive, Trey Hendrickson.
Oh,
I love Hendrickson.
Offensive, I'm going to give you one that I don't think is going to get mentioned, but when this guy gets 1,000 yards carrying, he's a difference maker for that offense. Joe Mixon.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a very underrated running back.
Mixon's
awesome. He does not get the credit that he deserves in this.
It's hard to take care of an offense when they got weapons everywhere.
I mean, you got Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. I mean,
Tyler Boyd is an unsung hero, man. He could be a legitimate number one on another team.
Oh, absolutely. And Tyler,
I got
one. A Clemson guy.
Yes,
no, that was
Clemson with Justin Ross and Trevor Lawrence.
That's another guy that I'm very high on. That's Justin Ross. But the fact he went on draft really made that was confusing to me because I love Clemson to death.
I got one. I'm going to bounce it off what ECG said before in terms of defense. The other defensive end, Sam Hubbard, how good he was too.
They're 1A and 1B, man. They were both
Sam
excellent.
Hubbard was pretty good for that Bengals D line.
But the reason why I say Trey Hendrickson is just to give him his flowers because when he was on the Saints, I think he had like a 17-sack season, and nobody gave him his flowers the year before he got to the Bengals.
That's crazy.
Both of them were fantastic all year, and it was a big reason why that Bengals defense performed as well as it did in the game, some of the games in the playoffs. But Jesse Bates is another one.
Jesse Bates, I mean,
he showed up in the playoffs, but he was kind of quiet during the season.
Yeah.
It was like a flip flop. It was like Eli.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was like Eli Apple and the Awuzie were like amazing during the season, and then they shit the bed in the playoffs, and then Jesse Bates stepped up. It was like really weird. But Awuzie is ass, bro. He's even more ass than Eli Apple.
Eli Apple is freaking garbage, bro. He is garbage.
I was like, what happened with this collapse, bro? People were talking so highly of you.
Dude, just watch Eli Apple with the Giants, and you'll know how bad that dude was. He sucked.
Yeah.
He sucked.
He sucked with the Saints too.
He sucked everywhere he went.
Everywhere he
just
went,
sucks.
They were talking shit on Twitter.
Gotta give credit to the Bears coming too, because he held up that offensive line. That was a weak offensive line.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. We interviewed Eli Apple on the media day for the Super Bowl. He's a weirdo in person.
Like, he didn't want to be there.
You know who his uncle is, right? Michael Blackson, the comedian.
Oh shit.
That tells enough.
That's his uncle.
No way.
You motherfucker.
Another guy I would say on the Bengals though that was sort of underrated, CJ Uzama. He was very solid for them during the playoffs.
Which he signed with the Jets this year, right?
Yeah, it's a 3-year deal with the Jets.
He's a good security blanket over the middle. And when you had those three receivers doing what they were doing and mixing, Uzama just went out there and he was that chain mover and the guy that would get those third down catches for a Burrow.
Absolutely.
All the time. So Uzama was a big player for that team during the postseason.
He was. Absolutely.
Hey, all right, Coach. We almost coming, Coach. We almost coming to the
man. Shit!
I'm not answering no MVPs for nobody in the division, including my team, the Raiders. I'll let y'all do it, but I'm not doing no MVPs.
The Raiders.
We almost there, Coach. We going to AFC East. We're gonna start with the Jets.
Ooh, Jets.
2021.
I might have to take Quinn Williams.
The backup quarterback, White.
Yeah. I don't know.
For me, I'm going with Braxton Berrios, the wide receiver from the
That's a good pickup. Berrios was good.
Man, White, that kid can fly.
I'll probably go with two rookies, Elijah Moore and Michael Carter.
Michael Carter, that's a good one.
Elijah Moore is
he has a good upside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked Quinn Williams on the defensive side.
Quinn Williams was a pretty good one too.
Yeah, Quinn Williams is good.
He was disruptive this year. ECG, who you picking for the Jets? Who you got for the Jets?
Man, that team's so bad. It's hard to pick out somebody. Quinn Williams for sure. 100%.
Let's wait till you get to the Giants.
This season.
Vic, who you got, Vic?
The running back. I give it to the running back, Michael. He did good.
Michael Carter. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Pretty solid running back.
Watch that Jets team this year. Just watch out for them. I think they're coming. I think that team's coming this year.
Not yet.
They got a lot of talent on that offense.
I mean, the only person I feel that has fallen off hard, and that's Denzel Mims.
But can we say this? I gave the Jets the benefit of the doubt year after year after year draft the way they go on free agency, and they still don't win more than 5 games. I'm sorry to say.
Think about this one. It's going to be bad enough if the Jaguars actually pull out more wins than the Jets, and that should be saying something.
A lot's going to depend on Zach Wilson and Becton.
Yo, ECG a Jaguars fan.
Because I mean, if you really think about it,
he talk. You ought to catch him when he talk crap about him. He don't believe in it. I don't blame him. He don't believe him like that.
Listen, you got to see it to believe it first.
Yeah,
that is true.
I'm tired of believing it, and we always get disappointed. To be completely honest with you, I'm tired of believing it. It's just kind of one of those things where I'm just like, all right, we won 1 game, okay, 2 games, great. Okay. Then at the end of the season, 4 games won, and I'm like, I don't even watch Jaguars games on Sundays anymore.
Damn.
Hey, but you always rack up in.
Dang, Vic was so angry for me, he cut out, bro.
Yep.
No, I said you always racked up in England.
I'm always wrapped up in Eagles.
Let's go Peterson right now. That's the most you want, Dante.
I live in Philadelphia, and I'm not even.
Whose rotary phone is that? No. We ain't gonna slide past this. Whose rotary phone was that, bro? Somebody literally spinning the numbers up.
Oh my god, the good shit.
Hello, Moto.
Yeah. So we got the Patriots. Who we gonna go with? Who we picking for the Patriots?
Oh God.
Matthew Judon.
Judon?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Matthew Judon.
Yeah, Judon.
I'll go with before he got hurt, Damian Harris. He was pretty.
I got one.
He had over 20 touchdowns last year.
Hunter Henry.
All right.
Hunter Henry
was a pretty. He was pretty a sleeper. He was all right. You know, him and John.
Him or Jacoby Myers, I would probably say.
I'm gonna take Kendrick Bourne. He had a phenomenal season last year with the Patriots.
Okay.
Take Kendrick.
He had a sleeper season.
Yes.
Hey guys,
go on.
I gotta cut out of here. I'm about to go watch Thor. I will. I'll catch y'all guys later.
All right, ECG, man.
Hey, man. I am. Let me. Before I go, out of everything that I know in this world, and I know a lot about football, comic books is one thing that I probably knew more about. Get at me. Straight up, bro. Straight up. I read comics like every single day, bro. Straight up. But I'll chat with y'all later, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming on, man. Yep. So that's ECG, man. East Coast Gridiron Podcast, man. Shout out to him for coming on today. So we got the Dolphins. Who we gonna go with the Dolphins?
Oh, Dolphins.
I'm going Myles Gaskin.
Myles Gaskin.
I'm going with Jalen Waddle.
Vic,
I feel like Davante Parker. I just feel like Davante Parker kind of fell off.
He's a Patriot.
He's a Patriot now.
Yep.
Well, Davante Parker.
Yep.
I think he's a Patriot now.
Yep. So
Jalen Waddle was the best rookie wide receiver last year, not named Jamar Chase. He was unbelievable for that Dolphins team last year. That whole rookie class.
And the crazy thing is, he was coming off that injury too. That's
exactly, and he still
absolutely.
That entire rookie class last year was incredible at wide receiver. All of them were just really good.
That's kind of one of the best wide receiver draft classes I've seen in recent years. I'm not going to
absolutely. And I think of guys like Kadarius Toney and Elijah Moore, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be really good too. Just see what they've shown.
Bad teams. They just on bad teams.
They were, and they were hurt all the time as well. But
I'd
probably say Waddle.
You know what? I'm gonna take Mike Gesicki, the tight end from the Dolphins.
That's a good
that dude.
That's
catch
everything.
One. That dude catch everything.
He's a very underrated tight end too. He could definitely flip up in the top 10 tight ends. Definitely can.
Another guy I would throw there too is Xavier Howard, the cornerback. Well, Howard had another
solid. Their best defenders, their best secondary guy. He's their best secondary guy.
Too, but Howard was unbelievable.
So we got one more team, and we in coach division. Coach, we was on the way. We on the way to you, coach. All right, so we got we already know we got the Buffalo Bills. Who you going with, Jeff?
The Buffalo Bills last year. I would probably go with those two safeties, Jordan Poyer and Hyde. I'm
going Gabriel Davis.
Was good.
Yeah, I was going to say Gabriel Davis. Because whoever seen a wide receiver to have six touchdown game? I think it was. What was it?
It was like 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, and like in a playoff game, let's be real. That was one of the best playoff games I've seen in recent years. Let's keep it a buck there.
Yeah, nobody even knew who the hell Gabriel Davis was.
Exactly. That's the best part of it.
Everybody this year is like, oh shit, we got to draft Gabriel Davis.
Who Gabriel Davis was, but I knew the real speedster that they had was McKenzie. It really wasn't Gabriel Davis, but they just utilized him very well against that Chiefs defense. It was a good game plan, but the Bills defense just fucked them.
Yeah.
I think when they lost Tre'Davious White, that killed their defense. When they lost that stud cornerback on the outside. That really
I don't think it would have mattered if they would have had him. I don't think it would have mattered.
He would have done a better job than the guys they had out there because Tre'Davious White is a top-tier cornerback, and they had nothing out there. Maybe Levi Wallace. I mean, that was their best cornerback. I mean, White was a killer injury for them.
Yep. All right. So we already know what division we going to.
This will be the best division.
Be out. Be prepared.
We already know. We here. Told you, coach. We coming.
I'm going to make Spotlight happen before we even talk about it. I picked his Raiders to be the best team in that division. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch this year. I think the Raiders are going to be a great team coming in. I think Derek Carr might be in the conversation for MVP this year. I really believe Derek Carr is going to emerge. I just said,
Thank you for somebody saying that. My God,
I feel it that way.
Flowers.
I feel it. I think Derek Carr is going to emerge this year with the talent he has around him on offense and that defense improved. I think the Raiders are going to be a scary
it's a much better coaching staff too. Like Patrick Graham as the defensive coordinator. Like, man, sheesh.
And Josh McDaniels will do wonder for that offense. He'll have really good schemes for Derek Carr.
I got just a perfect player MVP I would pick for the Raiders. Coach Spotlight gonna love it. He gonna love it. He gonna love this one. Right? All right, but we gonna go on to the Denver.
No, I want to hear this. I want to hear it.
All right, when we get there, I got you. All right, so go ahead, Jeff. What you got for the Broncos?
For my Raiders one, I'm going with Hunter Renfrow. I think Hunter Renfrow is so underrated as slot receiver, and he's going to be deadly this year with Davante Adams taking up the double coverage. Can you imagine that offense? 3 guys out there that you're going to have to worry about doubling at all times, and all Derek Carr's got to pick the wide open guy. But Hunter Renfrow is unbelievable this year. Now he's the number 2. Holy shit! Get ready, NFL. Get ready for every team playing the Raiders.
One of the best route runners in football.
Oh, he's disgusting as a route runner, and he's going to even just get more open now with Davante Adams there. But Hunter Renfrow easily was an MVP.
Robert, who you got?
What are we talking about? The Raiders?
Yep, we all gotta go get the Raiders.
Okay, so if this guy didn't get hurt, Darius Philon. If he didn't get hurt, that's what I'm saying. If he did get hurt,
the Raiders need to make the call and re-sign Darius Philon right now.
Because when it comes to the part of that defensive line, I think that's what there are some studs on that line. I mean, look, and of course, if you have not seen Spotlight's reaction to a certain someone, that was I feel like he's going to have a breakout year, and that's Leatherwood. But I feel like Philon actually, like I said, if he didn't get hurt, I think he would have had another some good seasons.
Alex Leatherwood better not be no goddamn MVP.
I'm not saying that going that far.
Hey, coach. Okay, coach gonna love this. I got a feeling he gonna love this. You know what? I'm gonna throw 2 of them at him, and they are his best players on this defensive side of the ball. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Broderick Teamer, and I'm gonna go with Faison. I'm just joking.
Faison is a Colt. Faison is a Colt.
That was a joke. But the real MVP I got is Derek Carr. That's the real actually MVP. His leadership is second to none. Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to throw you off, but why the fuck Bleacher Report just said the Spurs might be the key for a Kyrie deal? What the fuck?
Well, that's gonna make me happy. What?
Sources say that the Nets and the Lakers could pull a San Antonio into a multi-team trade.
What the hell do I want from San Antonio? They have nothing.
Well, the Lakers is part of that 3-team trade. We just don't know who's going where.
Give me a freaking break.
Yo,
I'm sorry, but I just want to throw that out there real quick.
I can't take it. I can't take talking about this Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant thing. You're talking to a longtime Nets fan here that's been tortured by these 2 guys. Just get them the hell off the basketball team already. I mean, they're talking about Kevin Durant maybe getting the greatest package ever returned. Just trade them already if they don't want to be here. This team pisses me off. I don't even want to talk about it. Piss me off.
Hey, Joe, which one pisses you out more, Giants or the Brooklyn Nets? Which one pisses
you out? The Nets, because the Giants didn't have any expectations. They haven't had any expectations for like 5 to 10 years. The Nets were supposed to be an NBA championship caliber team this year, and they shit the bed in the first round, and they trade away James Harden. Kevin Durant was hurt. Kyrie Irving was too busy not playing, the vaccine stuff. Ben Simmons decides to come here and he doesn't play. It's a freaking disaster with the Nets. The Nets by far, because they have championship aspirations. The Giants were not supposed to be where we had expectations. They might be a good team, but they weren't a championship team. The Nets have been a championship caliber team, and they're about to flub not only 1, but 2 big threes in a 10-year span. The Nets by far. Not even close.
My real MVP was Derek Carr. So we're gonna do one more division.
You said it's non-quarterback.
Yeah, it's always can be non-quarterback. I keep forgetting the question. Okay.
You're forgetting about number 98.
I was just joking on Roger Teamer. I was just joking on them, but I'm gonna go with Max Crosby.
There you go. That's
that's a good.
I gotta miss with Coach.
I'll say this too. I feel like there's going to be another one. That's going to be Chandler Jones on the defensive end as well.
My answer, Robert. Shit.
I'll say that's going to be an underrated pickup by the Raiders.
My underrated pick is going to be Rock Ya-Sin.
Okay.
I think Rock Ya-Sin is he's a very young talent. I think me personally, I'm throwing this bold out there. If Trayvon Mullen does not stay healthy, Rock Ya-Sin would be the number 1 corner for the Los Angeles.
I could definitely see that.
I can see that happening. Understanding, I know Casey Hayward left and went to Atlanta and everything of that nature, but at the same time, I still think Rock Ya-Sin is young and he's very talented. He did very well with Indianapolis. So that'll be my defensive MVP. But in another way, you really can't, be mad. We doing a big play slate. We're doing 9 quarterbacks for each division.
Yeah.
It can't be a quarterback.
It cannot be a quarterback.
It can't be a quarterback. So on the offensive side, I'm gonna go off the limb here, y'all. I'm gonna really go off the limb with this one.
I think I know where you're going.
I think I'm gonna go Keon Drake. I'm gonna go Keon Drake.
Oh,
I'm gonna go Keon Drake because I love what he does. Even though he's not in the backfield, it gives us another wide receiver option out there.
That is true.
That's why I love about Keon Drake. Yes, you have Zamir White, you got Josh Jacobs, which Josh Jacobs can't stay healthy, but now Drake is going to be that guy that's going to be 100% healthy. And he barely gets hurt. I mean, but yeah, he broke his ankle last year. Cool. But y'all pick Renfro, that's the obvious. Waller, that's the obvious. Davante Adams, that's
obvious.
Kenyon Drake is really underrated in his offense.
I got one for Spotlight that might be an underrated one too because of the amount of options out there. What about guys like Matt Collins and Demarcus Robinson?
Oh God, Matt Collins, that piece of garbage.
But they're going to get one-on-ones because of all the other guys on that offense.
It might be
those guys can take advantage of it.
It might have been garbage to y'all, but it might be different over here. Because look at Tyron Johnson. Tyron Johnson came from the Chargers. And he did very well for us last year. He's on
that is true. Yeah, Tyrone Johnson was a good piece.
Zay Jones was good for you guys last year.
Zay Jones was good last year, but he left too. I think he went to Jacksonville as well.
Yeah, he earned a nice contract after having a good season with the Raiders.
Yeah. I got a question for Coach before we go to the NFC. Everybody,
other teams too.
So we got still the other 3 teams in the
AFC. Yeah, you got to do the Chargers, the
Chargers,
we got Chargers. We didn't
Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs.
All right, Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs. I'm gonna ask you the question right after because it's interesting. It's going around the Raider Nation, but I'm gonna ask you the question right after. So, who we got for the Chiefs? Who we getting for the Chiefs?
Chiefs. That's an interesting one.
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
Okay. I'll be right back. I got something. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think the most obvious. I feel like Travis Kelce is the most obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Who else? Who's the running backs?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I want to say him, but the problem that I have with him, he just cannot hang on to the damn football to save his life.
And he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah, that's true too. But I had to go with the most obvious, and that was Travis Kelce. I thought he actually had a pretty good year last year. I mean.
I go with Chris Jones because the guy he was playing defensive end a lot, or he was playing defensive end a lot at the beginning of the season. He was out of position, wasn't really having the effectiveness he wasn't having before. The second they put him back to defensive tackle, he once again became one of the most disruptive defensive tackles in the NFL.
Yeah,
that guy's a difference maker on that defense, and he is the reason why that defense can play up to the level that we expect. So I would say Chris Jones, and if not him, I'd probably say the Honey Badger, and I think that's going to be a big blow.
You took Chris Jones. I was going to go with Honey Badger because I've never seen a guy that can shut down. Like, he's the only guy, safety I know, that can take away a tight end.
That is true, yeah.
That's a good one by Slay, though, because Slay picked
Nick Bolton was pretty good, too.
No, the offensive one was a great one.
Creed Humphrey was
that dude unbelievable.
I think he's going to have another good year as well with the Chiefs.
Yep.
That was a great pickup by the Chiefs in the second round, getting Creed Humphrey. That guy's a nasty offensive lineman. So great job by Slay on that.
He's not on the Chiefs, but we going off last year.
Yeah, last year's production. Not so much too. Wasn't Honey Badger hurt for a good chunk of the year too last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was in and out of the lineup. My bad, Dante.
No, you good. All right. We going with the Broncos. Hold on.
Broncos.
What was yours for the Chiefs, Dante?
It was Matthew.
Yeah, the Honey Badger.
Oh, it was the Honey Badger. Okay.
So the Broncos.
I mean, how did Bradley Chubb do?
That's a good question. And I know Jerry Judy was coming off it. No, that was who am I thinking that's hurt? That KJ Hamler.
Noah Fant was there.
Fant.
Garrett Bowles, the left tackle, was pretty good.
He was pretty good with that. See, that's because
Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb was that's Javonte
Williams.
William. Damn, that's a tough one because the Broncos really never done. He had some good players, but man, it's just was not. I don't know if Jerry Jeudy even had a good year last year.
He was not that good. He's
not
probably
that
the third
good.
receiver last year. He was injured a lot. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Justin Simmons. Safety. I would say Justin safety.
I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna go with Justin Simmons as well for the Broncos.
I'm going with the Broncos running back channel. Both of them, Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. I'm going with the running back channel right there. They both had.
If we gonna go Broncos, I'm gonna go Courtland Sutton.
Right.
Ooh, that's a good one.
1,800 yards apiece. 1,800 yards apiece.
One guy we didn't talk about too, that rookie Patrick Surtain Jr. Watch out for that guy. I think he's coming. He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league going forward.
Yep,
I agree.
So we on the last one. We on the
Another guy, Tim Patrick.
We on the.
We didn't get Spotlight's pick for the Chiefs for the Chiefs.
Spotlight.
Oh, fuck the Chiefs.
There's the answer.
I really don't want to do anybody else in this division. If it's the Raiders, I don't care.
He's just like me with the NFC East. I don't want to say anybody in the NFC East either.
Right.
Fuck that.
I'm the same with shit.
I got a nickname. For each. I've been have a nickname for each other teams.
Yeah.
The Chargers, they got the Johnson & Johnson uniforms. The Donkeys is always going to be the Donkeys. And the Queese will always be the Queese.
We got the Johnson. We got the Johnson & Johnson company now.
Johnson or the Chargers that just can't bolt shit.
So who you got? Who y'all got for the Chargers?
Oh,
if I really had to pick
Ronnie
for the
Stanley.
Chargers,
not Ronnie Stanley.
I'm going with Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
Rashawn Slater. Rashawn Slater, the left
tackle. That's gonna be another.
Slater's a good one.
Slater was unbelievable as a left tackle last year.
Yep.
Wait, no, J.C. Jackson was. I don't think J.C. Jackson wasn't hurt most of the year, wasn't he?
No.
J.C. Jackson.
He was on the Patriots last year.
Patriots.
Or you could pick Derwin James.
That's another good one. I think another one. If we go to because Austin Eckler he didn't really do much. Mike Williams.
He was good in fantasy until he got hurt.
And Mike Williams was nowhere to be found.
Obviously, Joey Bosa is an obvious one.
Yeah, Joey Bosa is an obvious
one.
Yep.
Who was that other defensive lineman that was with the Chargers last year? I could never pronounce his name.
Damn it.
He was so good.
Kyle
It wasn't Fackrell. No, we got him now. Fackrell's with the Raiders now. So
was it Joseph?
No, it was a name that we could not pronounce. It was like some type of African name or something like that. But he was dominant in the Cowboys game. My God.
Yep.
I don't know his name, man.
That's tough.
Yep.
Joseph was good for them too at defense.
I like the Kenneth Murray.
He's a good one. Ooh, we might be
Mike Williams.
The Sixers might be getting a hometown hero.
Oh,
about fucking time.
Marquise Morris might be coming back home.
All right, so I got
another damn good pickup by you guys.
I gotta ask Coach Spotlight this question.
Before you ask that, Jeff, just to let you know, I went to high school with both of the Morris brothers.
Oh damn. I always liked them as players too.
First, they because mind you, I went to Simon Gratz. That's the home of Rasheed Wallace and Aaron McKee. So,
oh my God, Aaron McKee, you're going back in the day now.
Yeah, I went to Simon Gratz, the home of Aaron McKee, Rasheed Wallace, and the Morris twins. Marcus and Marquise Morris.
Winners. They're just winning players.
Yeah,
they'd be a great addition for the Sixers if they can get Marquise Morris. Already go with PJ Tucker. Those are winning type players for that Sixers team. That'd be a tremendous addition for them.
I'm sorry, I had to throw you off with some.
Shout
out to Key. Key sent me the picture of. He said he'd been waiting to come home to Philly for a while. That's what Marquise Morris said.
Well, all your teams are getting better. My team's getting worse. It's all good. But we got TJ Warren. When he's healthy, he's a good player. That's a big question. When he's healthy, hasn't been in 2 years. But something.
I love this guy, man. I do.
Go ahead, guys. Continue what you're doing.
Yeah, you good.
What's the question you got for me,
Going
Dante?
around the Raider Nation, it's mixed emotions about them. The Raiders trading Bryan Edwards. I never got your thoughts on Bryan Edwards. How you feel about Bryan Edwards getting traded to the Atlanta Falcons?
I think I was kind of shocked about it, but was I surprised? No. I wasn't. I was shocked about it at first, but I had to realize, yeah, we did get Davante Adams. We went out and got all these receivers, and on a depth chart, it definitely makes Hunter run for a number 2. I could say is better for him to be in Atlanta, and for him to be a lost cause with the Raiders. I did not want him. I thought we was gonna give him one more prove it year, and then we'll let him walk or trade him or something like that. Because, mind you, the first year that we had Bryan Edwards, COVID year, never really got the chance to really get to the playbook. And, everything was Zoom call. Everything was never on the field. So if you really look at it, his rookie year was not really his first year. Last year was really his first. Last year was really his first year, for real. Like really his first year under the offense. But it's just he's such a talent. And, he had the ankle injury and stuff like that. And he's teamed up with Marcus Mariota in Atlanta. I'm sorry to say, but Marcus Mariota might make him better. Make him better because he's going to be the starter there. I know he.
I think Desmond Ridder could be the starter over in Atlanta. I think
Desmond so, Ritter but I think Desmond. Me personally, I think Desmond Ridder should. I mean, I don't think he's ready right now to start week 1.
Yeah.
If Marcus Mariota start messing up, then
yeah, you can definitely see Desmond Ridder taking the reins.
But I can see I can see Bryan Edwards helping Marcus Mariota at that wide receiver position.
And because they did lost Ridley to a 1-year suspension, which is
and they lost Russell Gage too.
Yeah, Russell Gage too.
And I feel like Bryan Edwards could go over there and be the number 1 that he was in South Carolina before he got drafted.
I think he's the number 2. I think Drake London's going to be the number 1.
Who would ever think in South Carolina that Deebo Samuel and Bryan Edwards was on the same college football?
Yeah, they were.
That's crazy.
They were a great duo.
It was a great duo. And even if he would have went to the 49ers, just imagine if Bryan Edwards would
I think that
Brandon Ayuk, get Deebo Samuel with him. What? I think they already set, but I was kind of shocked to see it happen. What's funny about it is that the day of my uncle's funeral, the day he got traded. So I was at the repast when I found out he got traded. I was like, what? I was like, no way. But yeah, I kind of felt some type of way, but I think, like I told you, Dante, underrated player for the Atlanta Falcons is definitely going to be Bryan Edwards because you just never know. It's his time to shine. Him and Drake London, that's the 1 and 2. No matter who's the 1 or who's the 2, either way, they're going to get the football.
I agree, and he's going to be the number 3 target on there because Kyle Pitts is going to get his, and they're probably going to give it to Drake London as their number 1 receiver.
Yeah,
but I think going into that season right now, Bryan Edwards is the clear-cut number 2 for that Falcons team.
Yeah,
he's another big guy with high potential. You figure a move over there to Atlanta where he's going to get more playing time and an opportunity. He should emerge as a guy that can be able to take advantage of some of those one-on-one opportunities when you think Drake London, especially Kyle Pitts, are going to be taking up more of the double team. So I think he landed in a very good spot, but I was surprised by it too because I thought Bryan Edwards had a ton of talent coming out of South Carolina, and I'm just surprised it hasn't correlated into the NFL. But it happens sometimes with players.
I think he did come out. Bryan Edwards did come out and say that the Atlanta Falcons offense fits his play style. So that could be the case too, because we all know being under Gruden in his Y2 banana bullshit offense that been around since 1995. God, Lee, our shit was so old fashioned with all the talent that we had. Jesus Christ, I just can't talk about Gruden no more.
So I'm guessing. I'm guessing Brian said the Atlanta Falcons fits more of the scheme that he was used to back in his college days.
Right. That's why I think
oh God, I remember those two really killed us as a Clemson guy. Oh, I still hate South Carolina because I'm a huge Clemson guy. That's one of my biggest rivals in college football.
Yeah. All right. So Vic, Robert, Jeff, guess what? We have made it to the NFC East. You know that?
Oh shit!
Let's go.
Hey, Jeff, you want to go first or you want to go last? You want to go ahead and get yours?
I'll go last. I'll let the Eagles fans get out their stuff.
I know we got 3 Eagles fans up here. I'm definitely going the second till last.
I'll go last. Let the Eagles fans get their happy moments out.
Jeff, just imagine living in Philadelphia and being a Raiders fan. It sucks so
Just
bad.
imagine being a Giants fan living in Philadelphia, because I know a couple of my friends Giants fans that live by Philly. That's bad.
Damn.
My buddy Mac, the Giants fan, lives near Philly. And he's got to put up with those guys.
Eagles fans can't say nothing about my Raiders until 4 more years until we play them again. I mean, they can talk about how Nick Foles threw 7 touchdowns, but we whooped that ass in the giant Roomba. I'm saying, I had to throw it out there, y'all. It's all funny.
We going on our way to our Super Bowl championship? Are we talking about that win on the way to the Super Bowl championship? Or we just left y'all in the dust?
No, actually, no. It wasn't the year y'all won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it wasn't that year.
Yeah, it was. That's when Nick Foles went crazy.
It wasn't that year y'all won the Super Bowl. It was a couple years.
That was 2017.
No, y'all didn't play us in 2017.
No, we played them last. No, yeah, it was last year in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it wasn't. We wasn't even Las Vegas at the time.
No, they were still stuck in Oakland, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was way before that because it was at Oakland.
Yeah,
there was so many whoopings. We got the one whooping with Mike Vick. Mike Vick gave y'all a whooping back then. There was a couple of whoopings that the Raiders got, but that wasn't anything with the Raiders team itself. That's because they had poor front office. Let's be honest. That wasn't the players themselves. Played their heart out, but it's that front office.
I got my one up right now.
Yeah, man, y'all did your thing this season.
Listen, and y'all know. I'm ready to
Dante,
see y'all the next couple of years. I'm ready to see y'all again.
That's good.
Do you want to save the NFC East for last, or do you want to do it now? Like get all the other divisions
let's
out of the way.
Let's do it now.
Let's
get the NFC least out of here. Can we get the NFC least out of here?
All right, so we're gonna start with.
They're not gonna be least anymore after this year.
We're gonna start with the
coming back.
I'm gonna save Jeff for last. We're gonna start with the Commanders.
The Commanders. I mean, it's the obvious is Terry McLaurin, in my opinion. The obvious, but if I would have had to go MVP, Terry McLaurin. If you want to be honest, he's the best with the talented. I'm sorry to say, like the Commanders is not doing nothing this year. I think they're going to be at the bottom of the barrel. I don't think they're going to win too many games, because it's just Carson Wentz at the helm. So I'm taking Terry McLaurin. Right.
I got another one for you on the defensive side of the ball. One of the best and most underrated defensive tackles, Jonathan Allen. Okay. I think Jonathan Allen is a very, very good and talented defensive lineman for that team. And I think if that defensive line could get better, they can stay healthy. I think the Commanders might be a little bit better of a team than people think, especially I think the offense has gotten better when you added Jahan Dotson on the outside. I think he's going to be good. I mean, Terry McLaurin's obvious. I think he's the best receiver in the NFC East. You could argue CeeDee Lamb. You could argue A.J. Brown. But I think Terry McLaurin is – Scary Terry is the best receiver in that division. I mean, I just like Jonathan Allen. I think he's got a nasty streak to him. I think he's underrated at defensive tackle. He can get sacks and pressure up the middle. He can stop the run. Jonathan Allen's my guy.
I like Deron Payne too.
Yeah, I do too. That was my answer right there, Deron Payne.
But Deron Payne?
Yep,
only reason why I say that because I liked him last year, and I know he was on a trading block to come to us last year. Yep. So when I did my research on him, I was like, Deron Payne is really underrated.
I think he might be on the trade block this year since he's going to a contract year this year.
Raiders, if we don't get Darius Fallon, go get Deron Payne right now. Make the
call. Tremendous addition, you guys.
Speaking of underrated, Antonio Gibson, that's a very underrated running back right there.
That's a good pick. That's a good choice too.
I don't know if he's underrated anymore. I know
he's been a stalwart for their team.
I think he's a top 15 running back.
No one talks about him like that.
Nobody talks about him.
Yeah, but no one really talks about Antonio Gibson.
About him, but I'm just saying, from my opinion, I think he's a top 15 running back.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and also you got to give an honorable mention to Taylor Heineke, man. Like he held that team up. He was their rock for the whole season.
I need him to be over Carson Wentz. Beat Carson Wentz out in training camp, please.
Agreed. I think that eventually will happen. I don't know how soon, but I think eventually Heineke will end up being the starter at the end of the year.
Please let him be the starter because he held that team down. He took them to the playoffs and everything. Like shit. Yep. You don't want to mess up that chemistry because of Carson Wentz.
Slay said Montez Sweat, Cam Crawley. I like the Cam Curley too.
But Sweat didn't play that much last year. He was hurt.
If Montez Sweat was hurt last year.
Sweat and Chase Young were hurt last year, so you can't really say them.
But if they stay 100% healthy all year, then it's going to be scary.
Yeah, their defensive line is very good when they're healthy. All four of them can be difference makers.
We on America's team, the Cowboys.
Oh, it's easy. Micah Parsons. I'm saying Micah Parsons.
Nobody but Micah Parsons. Nobody but Micah Parsons.
Don't say Trayvon Diggs. The guy was getting burnt as much as he was getting picks. Micah Parsons is a big reason why Diggs had as many interceptions as he did. 11 interceptions is great, but that guy was getting beat constantly deep. Ask Kadarius Toney how good Trayvon Diggs did on his covers, because every time you watch those highlights, Toney was pretty much using him as he's a joystick, making Trayvon Diggs look like a fool out there. So Micah Parsons all the way. If not him, Zach Martin.
Vic,
the longevity type of offensive line player, Zach Martin. I could definitely agree to that.
I can't
are we talking about last year or this year going forward?
Last year.
We're going over
Amari Cooper.
last year. Going into
Amari Cooper did a lot. Like, even though he was injured, Amari Cooper held up that wide receiving core. You know, CeeDee Lamb, a lot of people say that he's probably one of the up-and-coming receivers, but I don't think that's the case with him. I think he's going to come into a lot of trouble this season. I think Amari Cooper, covered up a lot of his deficiencies. So I'm going to give it to Cooper for Dallas. Everyone knows that, what Parsons did. That's hands down. I'm not even going to mention Diggs. He's not even in the conversation because he's another one that's going to play horrible this season coming up. Outside of the offensive line, like Zach Martin's going to be able to
repeat what he did last year, then I could give him that respect. But if he has a slump ass year, I don't want to hear shit about what he did previously. I don't.
Yep, agreed.
I got two guys for you guys too. Coach, Coach Dante, you go first.
I'm going to go with a very underrated player. I'm going to go with the safety Curse from Dallas.
That's a great pick. Great pick.
Nice.
Go ahead, John.
I got two underrated ones. Two underrated guys that have probably meant a lot more to that Cowboys offense now, especially one of them, since Cooper's gone now, Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is maybe Dak Prescott's favorite receiver to throw to, and Gallup always makes those big catches. That's the problem, though. He's not healthy. He's coming off the torn ACL, but when he's out there, that's a deep threat. That's the guy that makes those big clutch catches. Gallup is the one that Dak Prescott looks to when the crunch time of the games. And the other guy, Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard is going to have a big year. Tony Pollard, I think, is going to have a huge year this year for the Cowboys. He's going to just be moving all around that offense.
I wouldn't be surprised if they bench Zeke for Tony Pollard. I would not be surprised.
I think Pollard's going to have a tremendous year this year. I believe he's going to a contract season, and he's a do-it-all type running back. I think Pollard's going to just go off this year and get a big contract in the offseason.
Yep. So, guess what? We have made it to the Philadelphia Eagles. Vic, you got the first blow? Who you going with?
Big play Slay.
Yep.
He has held up that team last season, was the defensive MVP, was the vocal leader on the team. So yeah, I might have to give it to Slay, my guy.
Yep. I'm going with Anthony Harris. The safety. I'm going with Anthony Harris from last year. I'm going Anthony Harris. He was ranked statistically, he was a top 13 safety in the National Football League last year. I'm going to take Anthony Harris. Jeff, who are you going to go with?
Spotlight, you go first.
I'm still thinking.
I got a couple of guys. Jordan Mailata, the left tackle, and Davante Smith. I love Davante Smith. I was pissed when you guys took him last year. I think Davante Smith now with A.J. Brown there, oh, my God, he's going to be good this year. I think Davante Smith is going to be really good this year. He's going to be – I think he might have the most receiving yards and touchdowns on the Eagles, not Brown. I think Smith is going to go off this year with that team.
Yeah. I got Javon Hargreaves. You got to be mentioned.
Yeah, but I wasn't going that route. I was going Dallas Goedert. I think he's going to have a bigger year this year, knowing that he got another receiver to take the load off of him. I think now Dallas Goedert is going to really come into that true number one tight end. He'll be very underrated in this year for the offense, but I still think that Jalen Hurts gets him the ball because now you got a Davante Smith that could go over the top and an A.J. Brown that's to catch the 50-50 ball and run any route in the routing tree. Miles Sanders, I could say Miles Sanders too, but just because of the injuries he had last year, I really can't go off of it. But I don't think Dallas Goedert is the obvious anymore because now y'all got AJ Brown, so I don't think he's the obvious anymore. If that number 2 slot of receiver was not was filled during that trade, then I would say, the obvious is Dallas Goedert. But since y'all got AJ Brown, I'm gonna have to say Dallas Goedert is gonna be very underrated this year.
I love what the Eagles have at receiver. I mean, they're all such different types of players, and I hate the Eagles, but man, do they have a hell of a wide receiver core, and they're so different. AJ Brown being physical.
I'm not an Eagles fan either, and I can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles just because
I gotta give them respect. I can't stand them. They're my division rival.
They had one of the best off seasons in the NFL. I have to say that they really had one of the best off seasons in the NFL. But big but. And I can be critical of this. If the team fucking underachieves after all this shit that happened, then I'm going to rip y'all a new asshole. But I'm going to say the same thing about my Raiders too, because I don't give 2 shits. You
guys have huge expectations coming in this year. Yep. You guys expected to win.
Right. We both have huge expectations. So if both of our teams are mediocre this year after all the acquisitions that we got, I'm ripping a new asshole for both. I'm sorry.
Vic, go off on your Eagles. Since you're the Eagle fan here, go ahead. Talk about your Eagles right now.
Well, listen, we have a lot of expectations. First and foremost is our head coach. He has to improve on what he did last year. We had a slow start to the beginning of the season, but then we improved and went on. But then once playoff time came through, it was like we reverted right back to week 1. That can't happen. Nick Sirianni has to build on what he did last season, and it can't be what he did in the playoffs. Also, when you look at the defensive side of the ball, Coach Gannon is the biggest question mark on this team. Players aside, that coach, our defense, a lot is riding on him. One of the biggest issues he said last year was he didn't have the player personnel he needed to advance his defense. Well, Howie Roseman did what he had to do, and you seen it. He got the defense bulked up. He went in the draft. He invested in Jordan Davis. He got Nakobe Dean. He got that defense where it needed to be talent-wise and on paper, what Jonathan Gannon wanted. Now it's up to him to put all the players in the right position. We're talking about multiple defensive fronts. We're sounding like we're going to have a Madden defense, and they just put us on multiple D. He's the one that has to prove himself the most because he has not done anything last season. He did not show any improvement. The players did, but not the coach. So for us, we expect a lot of Coach Gannon and Nick Sirianni. So there's a lot that remains to be seen. Again, on paper, everything's all well and good, but all that has to be put together by these coaches and this coaching staff. So a lot hinges on them.
I agree. And I think a lot of it's going to have to do with also number 1, Jalen Hurts. The offense will go as far as Jalen Hurts takes them. And he's got to – this is it. Jalen Hurts has got to emerge as not maybe like a top 10 quarterback, but he's just got to make sure he doesn't lose games for that team because he's got everything around him. Good offensive line, good running game, stud receivers, top-tier tight end. Everything's there for Jalen Hurts to succeed. He's just got to make sure he goes out there and he doesn't shit the bed because if he does – the Eagles' expectations are going to take a nose. They're not going to be as good as many think because the quarterback could derail that entire offense.
Yep. So we're on the New York Football Giants.
You guys go first because I might go on a tangent on this team.
Oh shit.
Go ahead. You guys go first.
Oh man, it's hard. It's gonna be hard because I ain't really.
Was there a bright spot on the Giants last season?
Yes, there were 2.
I'm sorry to say, but this is how I feel about the New York Giants.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Like I say, it's hard for me to pick MVP. Like the closest one, I will pick an MVP on the defensive side now, and I will. You know what? This guy is very underrated. This guy is very underrated, and I'm going with the person that left the Giants for the Chargers. I'm going with Austin Johnson.
He's solid.
I'm going with Austin Johnson. Not saying he's an actual MVP, but I'm going with Austin Johnson. He did have an underrated year last year.
Vic?
Oh, it's tough. I really want to say Patrick Grant, the coach. I don't want to say a player. I want to say the coach because he did so much for that defense. Without him, I don't even know where they would be. And how much he had to hold in from not beating the hell out of that head coach. For me, my MVP got to be Patrick Graham.
Well, I got a few guys that I could say, And then Spotlight, you go first.
I gotta go, y'all. I'm on a phone call. I gotta go.
All right,
Okay.
all right, Coach.
All right.
All right.
Well, I got 3 players in mind with the New York Giants. I think they're all good, emerging young players. And that's Xavier McKinney, the safety. I think McKinney stepped up in his second season, and he might become one of the top-tier safeties going into his third season in the NFL. Now, at least with a little bit more pass rush. I got Azeez Ojulari, had 8 sacks in his rookie year out of Georgia in his rookie season. Now you got Thibodeau on the opposite side of him, so Ojulari, and he's bulked up. So Ojulari looks like he's ready to have a big-time second year. And it's Andrew Thomas. I mean, wherever the offensive line was garbage last year except for one player, Andrew Thomas. And when he was out there playing, he was arguably one of the best left tackles in the NFL this year. And now you have him going into his third season. He might be getting a contract extension. If this guy can stay healthy, there's no reason why he can't become a Pro Bowl left tackle going into the season. So everybody else on the offensive line was garbage except for number 78. And Andrew Thomas, I think, is going to be a solid player. Now you got Evan Neal on the opposite side. But to go on my little tangent about the New York freaking Giants in 2021, because this team was the definition of garbage throughout. I mean, Joe Judge was a shitty as hell coach the entire year. He was too busy playing conservative the whole time. Sometimes he had no idea what the hell he was doing. I mean, the offense was too busy spending more time on the sidelines than they were actually on the field most of the time. I mean, Barkley, Galladay, Tony, Shepard, Kyle Rudolph, garbage. Evan Ingram dropping balls left and right. Darius Slayton, thanks for Washington. The offensive line was pure garbage. The offense as a whole was pathetic. Jason Garrett running a 1970s offense all over the place. And I mean, the defense, they had really no pass rush at all except for Leonard Williams, who was getting triple teamed the entire time, and Azeez Ojulari, who had a pretty good rookie season. I mean, I do like guys like Ellerson Smith and Quincy Roche is like good depth pieces on the defensive line. Dexter Lawrence, I think, may play more of his natural position would be better. The one thing, I mean, the defense was very suspect. James Bradbury, I thought, took a step down last year. Logan Ryan looked like he was done. Jabril Peppers, I liked his energy and everything he brought to the field, but he was injured throughout the rest of the season. I'm not surprised he's gone now. The one thing that gives me some hope, and I'm not saying the New York Giants are going to come into this year and win like 10, 11 games. I'm not that nuts like some other Giants fans are. I do like Joe Shane and what he's done with this team in the offseason. I really love what he's done with these one-year prove-it guys that are looking to, try to bring back some value to themselves, looking to prove themselves, after having maybe suspect careers. I love what they did in the draft. Yeah, it's all ifs, ands, or buts. I understand that, but I think Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be – I think he's going to come in there and he's going to be a force on that defensive line. I think Evan Neal is going to be a brick wall at that right tackle position. Rondell Robinson gives me so much excitement because I watched the highlights of this kid at Kentucky, and I think he's a perfect fit for what Brian Dable and Mike Kafka want to run into this offense. I think Saquon Barkley, coming off the second year from that ACL tear in 2020, I think Saquon Barkley is going to be, in his contract year, is going to be a guy that's going to be looking to remind the league of how good he really is, and they're moving him around all that offense. I think Josh Azudu could be a surprise guy at that left guard position. I mean, I talk about the pass rushers, Thibodeau and Ojulari. I think Leonard Williams not getting triple teamed anymore. That guy maybe not have what he had in 2020 when he had over about 11 sacks in his 2020 season, but I think he's going to take advantage of some of those one-on-one matchups now that you got two defensive ends on the outside. I like Micah McFadden, and I like Darian Beavers at the linebacker position. I think Aaron Robinson, if he stays healthy, could be a decent player at cornerback opposite of Dory Jackson. Dane Belton, Yusuf Corker could be, guys that can help out Julian Love and Xavier McKinney at the safety position. I think we got some decent options at the secondary with Darnay Holmes as well as Cordero Flamill. Going on a giant tangent right now. I really believe that. I think the one thing the New York Giants. I like Daniel Bellinger too. I think it's another guy you might hear this coming year. I think Daniel Bellinger was a guy that wasn't used a lot in college from San Diego State. I think Daniel Bellinger could be one of the more underrated players, not only in the Giants but in the NFL in terms of rookies this coming year. But I think the one thing the Giants did is they're starting to build a foundation and they're starting to put depth. Even though it's unproven, they're starting to put a lot more resources into the offensive and the defensive line, which have been such a sore spot for this team for so many years. And I think finally they're starting to do it right and realize that you have to build a team from the inside out. And the New York Giants for so many years have been missing draft picks and been too busy building teams from the outside in, concentrating on the safety position, the cornerback position, the wide receiver position, running backs, tight ends, the skill positions on the offensive and defensive side instead of the meat and potatoes of those teams. And that's the offensive and the defensive line. And I think finally they're doing the right thing and helping build this team around. In terms of Daniel Jones, I don't know what the hell he's going to be. I think Daniel Jones has made some mind-numbing mistakes over the years, the past 3 seasons, but at the same time, this guy has been used like crap. He hasn't been put in the right scheme. He's been injured a lot, which is a problem, but he's also been dealt a really garbage hand by the organization. So Daniel Jones, to me, is still a mystery what you're going to get this year. If he can do anything this year, and maybe if he has a great season, you sign him to a long-term. Like maybe you could franchise him going into 2023. If not, just let him go and you get your franchise quarterback in 2022. That's my New York Giants rant. I think they're going to be an 8, maybe like a 7 to 9 win team going into this year if everything breaks right. That's their ceiling and their floor. Go ahead, guys. I apologize for the rant.
No, that was perfect. That was amazing. You hit every point.
This team, the team has a chance to be better than what they were in past seasons, but at the same time, I'm not nuts enough to think, like some other Giants fans in the community have been saying, that this team might win 11, 12 games. We're not that good. We're a rebuilding franchise. If we can win 7 to 9 games this year, any New York Giant fan should be happy after the garbage football that we have had to watch the past 5 to 10 years. I will take that because it's progression, and that's all I want to see with the 2022 New York Football Giants is a foundation being built, young players showing progression, and at the same time, I want to see the direction. I want to see a scheme fit. I want to see direction with this team. That's what I want to see. I want to see that kind of thing with Brian Daboll and Joe Shea, what they're going to build with this organization going forward. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, Coach, what do you see? Oh, I think we may have lost
Coach Dante.
I think we may have lost Coach.
I mean, in terms of the NFC East, I still think the Eagles are the best team in the division. The Eagles have top to bottom. I think they have the best talent, even especially on the offensive and the defensive line. But like I mentioned before, I think Jalen Hurts is the X factor with that team. I know you said Jonathan Gannon, and I agree. He's got to do a better job with the defense, but I think it's all going to ride on number one. Jalen Hurts is such an X factor for that team because he's got everything around him, and he has to be the reason why that team lives up to the expectations that they have right now because they have the talent on offense. I think their defense is improved. They made some solid additions with Jordan Davis, who I like on the defensive line. I think Nakobe Dean, if he stays healthy, could be a solid linebacker for you guys. James Bradbury, I was sad to see him go. He's a good addition for you guys. Going to hate going against him, but I think he's going to have a problem with some of those twitchy, fast receivers that the Giants have in terms of Kadarius Toney, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Sterling Shepard. But, I think the Dallas Cowboys, they have lost some players, but, I still think they're talented enough to be the number 2 team. And I think Washington and New York are going to fight it out for the 3rd spot.
I kind of see it that way, too. We all know Washington, they have an uphill battle. Carson Wentz isn't the most polished quarterback. Yeah, he had a great 2016-17 season, but that's almost 5 years now. That's the Carson of the past. We've seen what Carson could be, what he could do when he's given a good team with the Colts. He had a spectacular running back, decent, wide receiver core. There were some injuries on that side. Offensive line, too, played up well. Again, there were some injuries, but they had their line. The defense was spectacular. But again, one of the biggest problems on that team was their quarterback, Carson Wentz. There were games where he never even threw the ball. So, for Washington this season, there's a lot of turmoil going on with that team, with the front office, with the coach itself, with this whole turmoil now with the Justice Department or whatever they raided the Commanders facility. There's a lot going on with that team. Mm-hmm. I think right now there's so much going on. I don't know how much of football is focused. We've seen that they just signed Terry McLaurin. They're trying to get on the right path. But I think for them, there's too much going on for them to be an elite team in the NFC East. I think, they'll be a basement team. I differ on the other hand, though. I think it's going to be between Dallas and New York for the 2nd spot.
You really have the Giants going to maybe a second-place team? Wow.
I honestly think that the Giants may surprise people. Now, I'm not saying, again, like you said, I'm not saying they're going to win 10 games, but I think they're going to play a lot better than what people expect. I think Brian Daboll's going to have that offense working well. They had an issue with their offensive line. I think they're going to get some of that in order. Again, they have a lot of turnover to go over. That defense, I think, if Thibodeau is healthy and can be on the field, that could be a scary defensive line. When you talk about Leonard Williams, yeah, the pass rush is going to be sick. We're talking about going back to that NASCAR package y'all used to have. Like, it's that good. Again, you got the back end, Adore Jackson, great addition. You have Ross from UFC. That's another good addition you have. We'll see what they can do. But I think the Giants will play better than a lot of people expect. Yeah, Aaron Robinson, excuse me, yes. I think they'll play better. And the reason why I say this, too, is because I think people might think of Dallas a little too highly, and I don't think they're going to be playing as well. That's why I think the Giants.
I think the biggest X factor with the Giants in terms of their offense is their playmakers. If Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, Saquon Barkley, and Wan'Dale Robinson can all play healthy, because I think Daboll is going to unleash a lot of 4 wide receiver sets, and those are going to be his 4 primary guys. If those 5 guys on that offense can remain healthy, I think the Giants could have something on offense. And I'm not just being a homer Giants fan. I think they are talented. They have talent on that offense. And with Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka's scheming that he's going to use in that offense, I think he might get the most out of Daniel Jones and those wide receivers in Barkley. And I think Bellinger is an underrated pickup. But, yeah, I think it's the key on that team. One of the biggest keys is those wide receivers and Saquon Barkley's health. If they can stay healthy, it could make a difference.
And one of the things you mentioned, the Giants need a clear-cut plan. With their coaching staff last year, there was no plan. It was like everyone was fighting for position. Yeah. Everyone wanted to get the attention of the owner. There was too much going on. I think now this year, they're going to have a clear-cut plan. Brian Daboll's offense is a very good offense, and it's very, welcoming to receivers. I think Kadarius Toney, a lot of people clowned him last year, saying he was a second-rate Smitty, but I think he's going to have a better season this year. A lot of people are going to be talking about him. He's going to be a great slot guy.
If he can remain healthy, I think he's going to be the number 1 receiver on the team. If he not Golladay, I think Toney would be the number 1 receiver if he remains healthy.
Yep, I definitely think.
Yeah, I agree too. But I think that's the one thing that the Giants had that they didn't have this year is a clear-cut plan.
I agree. They didn't. They had nothing. They were a team in turmoil out last year, and a lot of stuff negatively came out about the New York Giants and how bad it really was. And a lot of it had to do with their outgoing GM, Dave Gettleman, and like the decisions that he was making. The Giants were an absolute mess for many years. And it's fine. It's good to actually went out of the organization, because the Giants have notoriously been an organization that continues to hire in-house because it's what John Mara feels comfortable with. And for the first time, he actually went out of his comfort zone a little bit and hired a guy in Joe Shane, who has a track record now of building good organizational depth with the Buffalo Bills and finding gems in not only late round picks as well as undrafted free agents for that team. And I think Brian Daboll has got something cooking with this offense. Now, I'm not saying it's all going to work out in the first year. I think this team is still a work in progress, but I think that this team has potential to maybe win 7 or 9 games and possibly surprise if things break right. That's the key words. Things break right and they stay healthy. Health is such a big problem with this team.
Yep. So definitely agree with that, man. Just want to give a shout out to everybody, that came through today. Shout out to my guy Jeff, my guy Vic for coming through. ECG came through. Shout out to Coach Spotlight came through. We already know Robert came through, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat that came through. So Mr. Jeff, man, go ahead before we get up out of here. Shout your channel out. Go ahead, give yourself a shout out and let the people know what you do, man.
Well, I'm NYG Jeffy T 3285. I mainly cover the New York Giants, the Brooklyn Nets, the New York Mets, the WWE wrestling, as well as I do a little fun thing called Food for Thought. I did a little food challenge about a few days ago. So if you want to check that out, it's kind of funny for the hot dog eating contest. I decided to do that for fun. I actually have a 9-part series that I've been doing for a preview for New York Giants training camp called the Giants Roundabout. I'm going to be dropping part 6 tomorrow on the defensive line. And if you want to check me out, hit the subscribe button for my channel. I also do premium tapes with my buddies, Adam Costas, Mac the Giants fan, and Zion Zenith, and 3 other great New York Giants content creators. I'm also represent the Big Blue Crew. Coach Dante knows all about that, as well as the Hardcore Sports Network, a couple of other affiliates that I work with. Shout out to all of them for what they've done. They're a big reason why I wanted to become a YouTuber. So I have a lot of respect and a lot of shout outs for them, as well as you guys right here. So if you want to catch me over there for some of the content, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you for letting me on the stream today, Coach Dante. And great chatting up with you, Vic.
Always. Vic, let the people know where they can follow you at, where they can find you at.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, great chatting with you as well, man.
Thank you.
Coach, man. Thank you for letting me come through, man. It's been a while. Yeah. Listen, it's Victory. You know what it is. You'll find me on Twitter. I'm your host, Victory. I'm on the road to trying to get 200 subscribers. Currently, I think I'm at 180. If you can't come through to my channel, check it out. If you like it, hit that subscribe button. Listen, you'll always catch me with my fellas, and I will always represent my guys. AK Eagles. I got Philly Foothills. I got Gio from the 215. With me, with the East Meets West podcast. You'll catch us on Wednesday nights. Right now, everybody's doing their thing, but we will be back up in a couple of weeks, and you will find me with my guy Jerry on the Big Ticket every Saturday. Coach, again, appreciate you. Appreciate everyone for coming through, man. It was a good conversation.
Thank you, everybody, to the chat for coming by, too, and representing and helping and checking out the channel for the stream today. Appreciate it so much for all you guys. You guys are the reason we do this.
Yep, and as of
definitely,
right now,
my guy Foothill says, man, y'all are the food and water to the channel.
Yep. You guys know where you can find me at. Y'all can find me right here on YouTube, Coach Dante31. Y'all can find me at Coach Dante31 on Twitter and also Coach Dante31 on IG. Shout out to everybody for coming through the chat. We got another stream in about like 40 minutes. My Rocks play the Orlando Magic in the Summer League. That means you get to see Jabari Smith versus Pablo Vancaro later tonight on the Spotlight Sports Network and Coach Dante's channel. So I just want to thank everybody for coming through tonight. As your boy, Coach Dante, your boy, Jeff, your boy, Vic, we holler at y'all. See y'all in about 40 minutes, guys. Thank you, guys.
I heard they want the news. Well, we got it just for you. What's your team? Who your player? Who your crew? I heard they want the news. The spotlight is on you, and if you in the hot seat, it's times 2. I heard they want the news. Come tune in to the crew. But we got the hook up just like Black and